not make the same mistake we make last time. I found out I spent 30 minutes last time on stream on mute while everybody was sitting there trying to get me to come off mute. I had no idea I was on mute. Anyway, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day, all my guys and gals, okay? Special day. Special day for like 40-some% of the population right now. I can't remember what the exact breakdown is, but it's a lot of folks. Okay, it's a lot of folks celebrating, doing their thing, doing their thug thizzle tonight. Well, we still grinding, all right? Ain't nothing changed but the day on the calendar for us, okay? We still grinding. We got work to do. Okay, we got work to do. Let me get up off Facebook. I had to post that though real quick. You know, I had to tell all the supporters happy V-Day or whatnot. All right, so let's run through this intro real quick because we got a lot to do today as usual. Welcome to the Junkyard. I am Combo Junkie, and this is another episode of Coding with Combo. That's right, it is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to all of the special ladies and gentlemen out there that is celebrating or that's not celebrating, right? Happy Valentine's Day to y'all too. Y'all deserve to hear that as well. Hopefully y'all heard it from somebody more than this mug right here. This is the Junkyard, and I want to welcome y'all to it, where we use some of the most modern software on the market today to build something cool, okay? Something awesome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Welcome back to the Junkyard. If you're new here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I hope you're having a good time, and if you are, let me know by spamming them heart emojis in the chat. Y'all know how I love those. Okay, let's dive right into it. Recap of what are we doing? We are making a website that looks very similar to the IGN website. We're going to make a news gaming website that has the concept of 3 major content types: a story content type, a tag content type, and a person content type. So what do those mean? So obviously, these are stories, right? When I click on one of these, I go to a story for this particular topic, whatever this is, right? This is Pedro Pascal proves money has become Marvel's greatest villain, right? So something about Pedro here. And the second content type is the tag content type, right? So I want to be able to say that this story belongs to a designated section of my website, right? So that's where the tags come in. So I should be able to click this Fantastic Four tag and trust that the only content I see on this page is directly related to, in some way, to Fantastic Four, right? And then finally, there's this third content type, this concept of a person, right? I should be able to say that this particular story was written by this person or, you know, these contributors, right? This group of people. And sure enough, if you click on one of those people, you should get a section that's that person's section, right? All the stories on the section include stories that either this person wrote themselves or contributed to. So that's what we're doing, right? We're going to build this same concept, and in order to do so, we need 3 major tools. 1, we need a content management system to help organize and populate the content on the site, right? We have a bunch of stories, a bunch of people, and a bunch of tags, and a content management system is going to help us organize all that. Number 2, we're going to use NextJS and React components to deliver the front-end experience. What we see here on our page, as I click through things, that's all powered by some kind of front-end system. We're going to be using NextJS and React to power ours. And then finally, number 3, we're going to be using the Vercel platform to manage our code and hosting, right? So we're going to be deploying our code to the interwebs, and we're going to be hosting it using the Vercel platform. So that's what we're doing in a nutshell. And where did we last leave off? So let's head over to the, let's see where to start. Let's go to the IDE first, and let's fire up our application. Okay, so I'm going to come here and we'll do SA. That's our shortcut to firing up any app for us. So I'm going to go to the browser, and now we should get a snapshot of like where we are with our application. So we have this kind of dated news website, right? And we have this concept of infinite scrolling. We have section fronts. We can click into a certain section and basically infinitely scroll through the content of that section. And I should have been able to do, yeah, okay, there we go. So I can do that on the home page, or I can do that on the the section pages as well. So if I click into one of these tags, I should be able to scroll infinitely until, of course, there's no more content for that section, at which point then I know I'm at the bottom of that section. So it looks like we do have some little problem here. We'll fix that. We have a little issue where the scroll here is not working. So we'll need to resolve that. That shouldn't be too big a deal. Other than that, what else do we have, right? So, oh, it looks like that did work. Not sure why that didn't work originally, but that's kind of strange. Yeah, let me just, let's just go here. Yeah, it looks like it's forcing us to go back up and then come back down. I think we need one more loading graphic there. Let's see if it works if we add one more loading graphic underneath that skeleton. So I'm gonna come back to the code. Actually, no, let's finish setting the stage, right? What are we doing today? And I'll take a note here in the IDE. I'll just start taking notes on what little things we're going to clean up. So one of the things we know we're about to clean up is fix infinite scroll bug on section pages. Now, normally this type of thing will get added to a bug ticket and then addressed, you know, when we had the chance to address it. But since we're working in our own ecosystem, nothing wrong with us just adding a to-do item there for ourselves. So we'll come back to that. So what are we doing today? What are we going to be working on today? Well, if we come over to our trusty Jira board, we can see we have a lot of tickets left in the sprint. The one that we're on today, though, is a really fun one. We're going to be adding a YouTube video element. And as part of this task, this is our opportunity, now that we've cleaned up, let me get these chill beats out of the way a little bit. They're a little loud. I feel like I'm talking over them. All right, that's a little better. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building a YouTube element. And remember, the last time we were here, we basically set things up so that we could, I guess, optimize our story editing experience, right? We wanted it to be as such that when someone's creating a story, like right now, I'm in this, what you see is what you get editor. This is what the tech world calls a WYSIWYG editor. What you see is what you get, which is, it's an acronym, right? What you see is what you get, right? WYSIWYG editor. So I'm in this WYSIWYG editor, and for me, what I want my publishing team to be able to do is actually stack content elements as if they were creating a story, right? So if I go over to Michael Calabro's page, and let's click on one of his stories, right? 10 best ads. We can see here that the story starts with the title, okay, then it has a subtitle, then it has a video element, and then you can see its byline and the date information, and then the actual story content starts, right? So this is where we would want to start stacking things, because I want to be able to say that these are just paragraphs of text, and then here I introduce my first like featured element, right? This is a gallery element, and I want my users to be able to add that right in line with the story. Okay, and then now we have a head, I guess this is a sub, this is kind of like a title element, but it's also like a H2, not a H1. So this is like a title element. I'm not sure what we'll call that if we were to do it. We're probably not going to do it. But then they have this image element followed by more text, and I want that all to feel like very much in line. Like if we head back over to Jira, I want them to be able to create that story all in here, right? And if they want to choose some of those more advanced features like images or things like that, I want there to be a little bar up top where they can choose from a list of the different elements we support. And when they add it in their editing experience, it looks good, right? It doesn't look crazy. So what we're going to be doing today is this ticket right here is really, it's create the YouTube video element. I'm not even going to say create YouTube element as the title. This is going to be move elements to single, I guess single WYSIWYG. Yeah, maybe we'll call it that, right? And then the purpose of this ticket becomes twofold, right? We're going to create the YouTube video element, but then we're also going to move existing elements into a single WYSIWYG editor, okay? And then we're also going to say that also make sure the elements are rendered properly, not on the front end, properly within the text editor inside the Sanity Studio. right? Because as you're editing, if the expectation or if what we're claiming we're delivering to the user is this kind of experience where they are editing this stuff in line, then it stands to reason that this needs to at least look somewhat okay, right? Within that editing experience. Eventually, we'll get to the point where we're tying this into the actual front end, right? We'll create the story template, but we're not there yet. Right now, we just need to make sure that you can add these elements to your content and make them look pretty when you do so, right? So that's what we're going to be doing. Let's head back over here and clean this up a bit. So it looks like Grammarly is giving us some advice here on how to style this a bit. So we'll just add bulleted notes here. We'll say we're going to create the YouTube video element. It's going to be standalone to start. Then we're going to move all story elements into a single WYSIWYG editor, and then we're going to make sure I'll just say elements should render properly within the editor inside the Standard Studio, right? So now for the acceptance criteria, okay, we'll say AC1 is there is a new YouTube video element that publishers can choose when adding elements to a story. Okay, AC02 is publishers can now select, and we're doing a little ticket grooming right now. Sorry, I literally love having this figured out ahead of time, but here we are. Have to do it right now. So publishers can now select from the video, from the image, video. Should I call it YouTube video? Video, fine. Image, video, and CTA components directly while editing the text for a story. Excuse me. For a story. Okay. And then AC03 is visually the elements render properly. We don't need to say visually for that. That's a word over wording it. Elements within the WYSIWYG editor renders properly. Styles can be generic. Okay, so we won't do anything special with the styles. It'll just be like if we were to use a table, it'll just be a really generic table. We won't have any extra styles on it. So this is Grammarly once again hooking us up. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, and there we go. So now this ticket has been properly groomed, and I think we are ready to get started. Right? Let's go ahead and create a branch for this work. So we pull it from here. Main branch, create branch. Boom, boom. All right, GitHub. All right, so we're good there. Let's go ahead and check this branch out. This is going to be our create YouTube video element branch. Unfortunately, I did not refresh the page after changing that title. Let's do this. Let's go back here to Jira though. And did I hit create already? Yeah, I already created the branch. You know what? I'm going to delete this branch because I have a feeling this branch is going to live for a while, and I don't want that to confuse me. So I'm going to delete that, refresh the page. That thing's gone. Let's go back here. Let's refresh this page now that this has been saved. And I believe if we create a branch from this now, it's going to have the move elements to single WYSIWYG nomenclature. So let's just confirm that that is working as expected. We'll go combo Junkyard. Main, yep, and it move elements to single WYSIWYG. That's what we want. All right, view on GitHub. We'll click branches here, and there it is. Move elements to single WYSIWYG. All right, let's head back over to the IDE, and we have one note here of things that we need to take care of tonight, right? So we'll leave that there. Go ahead and kill the app, and let's get rid of whatever that is. Okay, and then now we'll do a git fetch so that the branch is made available to us, and then we'll git checkout. Wait, that's not what we want. It's not pasting. Hey, in my branch. There we go. Okay, all right. So now we are on this new branch. Let's just do a git pull just in case there's some changes. Nope, everything's up to date. Okay, so one thing we know we need to do is we need to fix this infinite scroll bug. Then we can move into our projects. So what I want to do for the infinite scroll bug, I'm going to go to the section template, and I'm just going to add, it's not the section template, it's going to be the story bank. I just want to add a single landscape card so that it shows up below this one. Okay, so now instead of there being one skeleton card, there should be two at the bottom of those pages. So let's start the app back up. Let's head over to the browser, see what that looks like. All right, so let's go to a section. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. All right, so now those are stacking nicely, right? And now when we get to the bottom though, yeah, you can see now we don't have that issue where it was kind of labored. Instead of snapping to the infinite scroll, it was kind of labored. So now we don't have that. All right, so let's start taking some notes on what we need to do to pull this off, right? The first thing we should do, and the easiest thing, is we should figure out the YouTube video element. I think that's going to be a lot easier because 9 times out of 10, Sanity's already built that. YouTube's big enough for Sanity to have built something themselves, right? So let me... phone. All right, let me add my homegirl on Facebook real quick. Second. Oh. Sorry. Okay. All right, so I just needed to take care of that real small thing. I feel like my webcam has not been on this whole time. Hopefully it has. All right, the next thing I want to do is I want to make sure that the browser webcam is on as well. I figured that has been... Okay, cool. So now let's head back over to the IDE and let's go to the browser. We know we're going to start with the YouTube video element. So that's where we'll start. Let's head back to the browser and let's just do this. Let's just do YouTube video element sanity. Here we go. How to add custom YouTube blocks to portable text. And then this is Vimeo video thumbnail custom component. So here's like a community driven component. I think I'm gonna go with this one though. They're both in the Sanity studio, but this one had a date stamp that usually denotes that there's like been updates to it. Yeah, see, last updated on September 25th, which means that if changes have been made to their source code, then we would have them here, right? So always good to see that. So let's read through this and kind of see what we have to do. So this guy will take you through adding custom YouTube block to the portable text editor and show you how to render it in some common front-end frameworks like React and Vue, which we're using React, so that's good. There are times you want to embed a video in your block content. Usually you would paste the HTML embed code into the editor and move along. No, that's definitely not gonna happen on this side. We are not doing that, okay? We don't play that. With portable text, however, you want to ensure that your content is structured and that you don't embed too many assumptions about the presentation. Maybe you want to use this video in a native app or a specialized component in your front end. In this tutorial, you'll learn blah, blah, blah. Got it. Add a YouTube schema type. The main thing you are interested in for a YouTube embed is its ID. The ID is included in the video URL. So if you have this URL to watch whatever, the ID is that ASE portion. Now you could ask our content creators to find its ID and only put that into Sanity, but that seems a bit too much to ask since it isn't always easy, since YouTube URLs can contain a lot of parameters. You can assume you can work with a URL and find the ID programmatically wherever you want to show the video. Yep. So you'll start by adding the simple schema. So let's see what their defined type looks like. We'll add this to our shared assets, right? So they have the obvious, they have a icon here that they're getting. So it looks like Sanity has icons. Okay. We've been using Lucide React icons, but maybe we should be using Sanity icons. I love using because we're adding the icons to our Sanity Studio. So I would love to use Sanity's icons for that instead of Lucide. Not that there's anything wrong with Lucide. Lucide has been really good to us. But if the studio that you're working in has icons, then it's always best to use those, right? So it looks like, oh, they have a bunch of, wow, that's really awesome. You can browse the icons available here, right? So we're gonna go ahead and bookmark this and put this in our Sanity. I guess we'll just call it Trend Junkie. That's the name of this project. So yeah, dude, this is pretty badass. I really like this. Let's see what they have for some of the things that we needed, right? So one of the things we needed it for was a photo. Let's see what they do for photo. What about image? Yeah, that I already no, that's the same one we have. That's the same one we have, right? So that's fine. What about books? We did a book already looks better, right? We did that demo where we created the 2 content types, and book was one of the content types. So it's good to see that they have book. So yeah, maybe there will be a time where we go strip out those Lucide React icons and just use Sanity. You know what? Let's do that right now. Before we get too deep into the YouTube stuff, let's go see what icons we're using, and let's see if there's an opportunity to just use Lucide React. So we'll go up to the studio. We're going to schemas. Let's just start at the top and work our way down, right? So this is the person, and we're using the circle round user for the person, right? So, and then there's a lot of social media stuff in here too that is no longer available in Lucide, or at least no longer supported. So we might want to get rid of that. What about Facebook? No, they don't have Facebook. Let's see if let's go back. Let's see if that other library they had, yeah, the React icons, they have Facebook. Oh, yes, they do. Okay, they do. And we know we would want the one that's kind of a circle here, so we can just grab that. Okay, yeah, we are definitely using this. We are definitely using this, guys. Okay, so we are going to now pull in Sanity icons, is what we're going to do. Let's go back to the IDE. Let's immediately flip this to, I think it's just import whatever our icon name was from. And then it's going to be that, right? Sanity icons. And then what we can do is just go find out what that Facebook icon was. It's just CI Facebook. And let's just see if that works first, right? So we'll place this here. So it doesn't look like it, right? It looks like I may have to get that from the React icons. Oh, wait, I have to install that, don't I? So let's do this. Let's do npm install Sanity. I don't know how to install it. Let's see, how do we install it? You would think Sanity icons came out of the box with Sanity, but that's fine. Let's just do npm Sanity icon package, right? So yep, there we go. And then, yeah, sure enough, we do have to install it. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab that. And this should be a bundle, right? This should come with both the Sanity icons and React icons, I'm guessing. But now that that's installed, we'll see now from the IDE, if this error magically goes away, then it's under the Sanity icons. If not, which we did see it wasn't available in Sanity icons, so I guess they're not that wide-reaching, which is fine. Now we can just go back here. Let's find out from this React icons. Let's find out how to get React icons. So we'll do the same search. npm React icons, and then there we go. And now we can just add this, well, not that, this here. Go back over to the browser, to the IDE, and we'll do an npm install React icons here, and that error should magically go away. All right, let's, come on. Oh, that's there because it's never used. So wait a minute. Oh yeah, the Sanity icons has no exported member CI Facebook. So if we were to change this here, yeah, that's still a problem. So we need the React icons library. If we go back to the browser, we can see it is React icons /CI. Okay, so it's a certain path, like a certain variation of that package. But they probably have everything sitting under this umbrella. That's weird. Hang on. Maybe I have to get this variation of React icons. Let's do React icons CI. Yeah, no, it should definitely live in here. That's odd. Okay, so let's just make sure that. Cannot find module. I'm gonna install CI. I don't know if I need to, but in the IDE we're getting this error still. I'm just gonna install. I'm gonna do npm install react icons -ci -save and just see what happens. Yeah, that there's no such thing as /ci in that. So. Yeah, hang on. Whoops. Yeah, that's definitely where we want to be. Let's. Oh, that's weird that I can't see it. Let me try restarting the IDE. Bear with me. Sometimes that's the magic bullet. Blah 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 code. Yes. Boom. All right, let's go over to the IDE and see if that fixed it. No, it didn't. That's so weird. Oh, duh. I'm so stupid, guys. I've been installing this in the wrong place. I need to install this in Studio. Okay, so now that being said, let's see if Sanity does give you everything in one big umbrella. Because here, let's go back to their documentation. It looks like they are saying, it looks like Sanity's saying that if you want to have your icons reflect whatever, you might opt in to install Sanity Icons package. Another popular package is React Icons. Oh, so okay, so they're saying React Icons. Yeah, so if you want React Icons, you need React Icons. If you want Sanity Icons, you need that. For now, we haven't seen a reason to install Sanity Icons. So I'm actually going to go back over to the IDE, and I'm going to get rid of that from the Trend Junkie web app. I mean, unless I find a reason to do it, I don't care for it. Like, it doesn't really matter, so I'm just going to get rid of it. So I'm going to do npm uninstall, and we'll uninstall React Icons. And then we'll also uninstall @sanity/icons. Right, the other one that we grabbed. Goes @sanity. Okay, cool. So now we'll do npm install just to make sure everything's up to date. Yep, everything's good. Let's go back to the studio. Okay. Oh, it looks like Twitch is lagging today. That's interesting. Normally my lagger is, my lagging application is usually YouTube. Facebook is just hopeless. Like, I don't even know why Facebook offers live streaming. I really don't. It's one of the worst live streaming platforms I've used. And I'm a big Facebook fan. Like, you guys, if you know me, you'll know that I'm like, I use Facebook as one of my main social media platforms. And unfortunately, they have just left a lot to be desired when it comes to some of this streaming stuff. So anyway, let's go back to the browser and grab that React icon that we wanted. Right, we had this specific one. So first what we'll do is we will install the React Icons package. Can do from here. Go back to the IDE. Here, no, not that. There we go. All right, so now this should give us the React Icons package. And at some point that should take this error away. Gonna open that again. And yeah, there we go. So that error's gone now. CI Facebook. Oh no, the error's back. I'm gonna use this route. That's so weird that this is throwing this error. Yeah, now I'm in the right place too, which is the studio. We should be installing it in the studio. Let me just do an install here. Up to date. Yeah, so it's saying I already have React Icon. Yeah, I do have it. And that icon is just not there for us. This would be the one CI. Oh, maybe this is a little different. Maybe the CI icon is a little different. Oh, I think you have to pay for the CI icon. See if we can find that Facebook. Yeah, there's the Facebook icon that we want, and it just downloaded it for us, which we don't need that, right? Let's see. How do you do this? So does that mean we need this? You know what's really weird is that on the React icons documentation page, it makes it seem as though this is available. And it's just not. Like, this is obviously throwing an error. I don't know if we're doing something wrong or what, but yeah, that's the same markup. Yeah, all right, well, let's just go get a different Facebook icon. I'm not gonna be married to that right now. So let's come back over to the the browser. And for Facebook, maybe we'll just use one of these simple ones, right? This looks good. The one with the square around it looks good. It just has to be white background, right? So, all right, let's try this, which is almost the same thing, but let's give this a shot. So I'll go back to the IDE, try and install this one. All right, that one seems to have 0 errors. All right, so far so good. We're in the green. Now let's go back to let's actually start the studio and go to the browser and see what that looks like. I need to update this CLI. I don't know why I haven't done that. Actually, let's do that first. I'm gonna run this CLI update. They've been begging me to do this for a while. All right, npm update CLI. All right, so now that hopefully they are satisfied with that. Let's run the app now. Go back to the browser. Now we just want to go over to the person content type, click on one of the people here, choose a social network. Where's Facebook? So there is no Facebook option in here, but if we click one of these and we click Facebook, link, doesn't matter. We just want to see what the icon looks like. That looks perfect. Okay, so we'll stick with that. Now what we can do is we can come back over to the IDE and we can get rid of these right? We're not going to use these. We're actually going to use the RI circle line icons from the React icons library. So let's go replace all of these, right? We need Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, okay? Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. We need the RI library. RI circled. Oh no. See. BI. It was RI circle, right? RI circle line. RI line. Here we go. This one looks close. Yeah, I'll use this one. All right, and then instead of redoing all of those, since we're in this package, we already are in the RI package, we can just say this is a second item that we want to import. So let's go back here. All right, and then we'll start a little object in here. We'll do a comma, and now we have Instagram. And there's the rest of them, right? So we have Twitter, LinkedIn, we don't care about any of these, but let's see if we can just quickly do YouTube. Yep, YouTube line. Okay. Then Twitch. Line. Here we go. All right, love it. Now we can get rid of all these, right? And I'm gonna do as clauses for these, right? So we don't have to keep creating any of these, and they'll look better. Whoops. These will look better in the actual code too. Man, I hope this is just me that's lagging and not the actual stream. That would suck. But even my YouTube is lagging. Like I keep having to refresh the stream. That's so annoying. All right. As YouTube, as Twitch. Now we can get rid of this import altogether. We don't need it. And then here we'll say this is, we don't know what this is yet. Let's actually go get one for people. Go back to the browser. Let's grab a person icon. So let's say profile maybe. Like a, yeah, this guy right here works for perfectly. RI, now let's see if we can find something for RI. Let's just do person. See if we can find something for RI. Let's go. Where is our RA like? It is somewhere down here. Element of PQRS, yeah, if it's not there, then these are just not alpha sorted, which is annoying, but it's okay. That is okay. This is iOS. PI, BS, PI, blah, 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 blah. Alright, that's fine. Alright, well, let's go back to just our profile. One that we know is kind of what everyone's used to, and we'll just import this as is. Alright, so let's come here. We'll just put it right on top. Okay. Now that goes here. Now we have a CG profile icon. Hopefully that works. That turned yellow on me, so I don't know what that means. Did not expect that to turn yellow. These are all turning yellow. That's really weird. And the error here is fake, right? This is going to be one of those like field validation errors or something. Where is it? There is the globe. That's the default icon, right? So if there's nothing, then what do we default to? So let's see if we can find a globe icon. I'm over in I'm over in the browser. Let's take you guys there. I'm looking for RI, right? RI is ideal because then it means we don't have to import a new package. Just pull from the same package. It's not absolutely required. But it just is a little cleaner if you can get away with it. Here we go. There's some RI. Here's another RI. There's only two. So what's a default social? Let me just look up social. Yeah, there we go. This is kind of your default social stuff here, right? So let's just find RI and see what we have to work. And it really can be anything, because this is, there should never be a default, right? This shouldn't even have a default. But I think that the IDE is going to bark if we don't set a default in a switch case. Which, what I should probably do is say undefined. What I should do. Right? And maybe I don't need to do that either. Maybe I can just say... Yeah, maybe Typescript doesn't care if you set... I know PHP switch cases require some default. Control F if you're searching for text on... Oh, what's up, Inslee? I didn't even see Inslee in the chat. What's good, Inslee? Welcome to the Junkyard. Command F for my... Oh, so Inslee saying that we could have easily just did Command F, Control F. If we were searching for something, I could have just did that and just did RI. Boom, we immediately find every instance of RI, which this shows us immediately that we don't have what we're looking for, right? So we would want RI space. So if we go back to social and then do a search for... I'm glad to see you, Inslee. Just a snazzy. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Definitely appreciate the tip. Okay, RI. Let's just look at Twitter. Let's see, because they had a bunch of RIs, right? Was it Facebook? one of these had a bunch of RIs for, yeah, it was Facebook. So if I do RI space and now Apple Control G, yeah, there we go. So now we can see all of the, damn, that would have came in handy when we were first searching for these, but better late than never. Good to know. Thank you so much, Enzy, for the tip, my guy. All right. So now we're good there. I think we're good to move forward now, right? So we have our profile picture. We have our social icons. Let's see what that actually looks like in Sanity Studio. So let's head over to the browser, open up our studio. Let's take a peek at some people. And go. Yeah, those still look fantastic, right? Those still look exactly as we would expect. Nothing looking weird there. Let's choose the other two, which is Twitch. And remember, we didn't even have one for Twitch proper, which this is actually good that we now have a Twitch proper icon. And then the other one was YouTube's, right? So, all right, let's just test that. Yeah, that looks good. These all look fantastic. Okay, let's discard this change. We don't need it. Yep, we don't. All right, so that looks good. Let's head back over to the IDE and let's just take care of the other. We have a couple other types that we need to figure out. So let's just do a search for icon in here. Go back to the IDE now. Probably need that. Search for icon here. And what do we have? Okay, so this looks like we have the book image, which, see, it looks like we were just using placeholders here, guys. Like, I don't know if we never used book image or clipboard, so we can get rid of both of those. Looks like we used image at some point. So it's our image for the image element, which we did find that in the React icon library as well. So go grab that. We know the one we want. Here it is, right here. So this is going to be from the CI library. So that may guide us in that direction. If we can find the rest of these in the CI library, that's going to be a little cleaner. So what we're going to do is let's just start importing these. Is that just because it's never used? That's interesting. Let's see if that cleans it. No, it doesn't. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know why that keeps happening. We definitely are using this right here, right? Well, we're using CG. Oh, that's right. For some reason, CI doesn't work. I think we need to figure out how to get CI. Icons are the bane of any dev's work. Feel like I've spent too much time finding good libraries. Yo, I can't lie, man. Icons are annoying, okay? Icons are definitely annoying. I can't believe okay, so we need to just try and stay within the realm of what we know already exists. And we know that that's RI right now. I guess if we find another image icon that looks as good as the CI icon, then we can take that for a spin. But ideally, it's going to be one of the... here, let's just search for RI right now. Yeah, here we go. So it needs to look good, though. All right, here we go. This is it. The line class of icons. So once again, RI saves the day. And maybe RI was built specifically to challenge the CI library. They said, hey, you know, this is doable. Let them use these icons, okay? Call to action is a CTA link. I don't think we'll have this. Actually, see, that's why I really like React, because people think of these types of things. A call to action is like a little banner with a single button on it, and it looks like they might have something for that, right? Yep, CTA button. Yep, here it is right here. This is the exact layout. This is the exact layout. So this would require that we have access to this TFI library. And I am willing to give it a try. Let's first see what RI stuff that they give us. And nah, these won't work for us. These RI elements won't work. So let's try TFI, see if that's something we have access to. And we don't. All right, so another one that we just don't have. I don't feel like dealing with like the how to get access to the rest of these components. That's kind of not what I'm here for right now. So just gonna first see if I see anything that looks like a CTA real quick, and if I don't, then I'm just gonna do a call. Let's just do action in here. Let's see if find anything in action. So first off, let's check the RI suite, and they don't have anything in the RI suite, so that's okay. Maybe we can do link, like a hyperlink. There's one for the CI library. Let's see if they have anything for the RI library. They don't. What else is a CTA? Let's do call. Let's see what happens with call. So this is the icon we used last time, right? A phone with like that looks like something was going outgoing, but this doesn't look bad. So hang on. Let me do one thing. Let's do action. Yeah. So that doesn't look bad. I think that call option might work. I don't hate it. Let me see. That's weird. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Maybe a forward arrow of some sort. Call, like the problem that I had with the phone icon originally is it makes it seem like that you're adding contact information, right? And that's not great. Are you using React Icons Library to import? Yeah. Individual icons into my Sanity Studio. Yeah. So let's actually look at the Sanity icons too. I keep forgetting that that should be an option that we shouldn't ignore. So if I do call, let's do CTA. Oh, let's do action. Oh, all right. Their library sucks. I'm gonna get out of there. We're not gonna use Sanity. Sorry, Sanity. I love you for a lot of things, but obviously that's not one of them. Icons is not your strong suit. Let's see what they have for URL. Let's see. How about move? Just needs to be an arrow, right? That's really all we care about. Or like a. Let's see what they have for content, because that one content well they had was really helpful. But maybe if they have something that denotes content, we can. Yeah, see, this would work too if they have it. Like this right here would work too, right? This kind of looks like a content bucket. So let's just see if they have that available. And they do, right? So BI and RI are the two that we're gonna try and use. So we were using link. Let's do BI content as CTA actually. So let's actually start breaking this out. We'll do, actually, put IDE so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Oh, my browser is playing really rough with me today. It seems like every streaming app actually is caught up, but the browser window that I'm seeing isn't caught up. Okay, so we're gonna say as CTA here. Okay, and then we'll get rid of this. I'll keep link here because it's reference, but all right, CTA is there. We have image right here. So text is the other one. So let's see if we can find text. Back to the browser here. Text, and we all know what text looks like. It's just, yep, exactly right. It's literal text. I would rather it be the left align one, but not this long. If it can just be like 3 lines, that would be great. There we go. Perfect. This is in the LU library. Let's see what the RI library has. You know what? That looks even better. That looks even better. I'm going to use this. That looks even better. No, that looks like a document, though. This looks more like text. This looks a little bit like text. Quote text. That looks really weird. Let's see what the BI library has. Or is it? I don't see it. There it is. Okay. I'm not in love with it. What I'm in love with is this. That looks a lot like text. But I guess that T looks like text too, right? Yeah, I'll use that. That's fine. That's fine. I don't mind it. It's actually just going to be BI text. Let's go back to the IDE. And here we're gonna say, yeah, this can be just BI text. We'll say as text. And let's get rid of that. Get rid of this too now. And then link and video. So link was our CTA. We don't need that. Video is obviously a video. Let's go grab that. And there's really only one way to express video yeah, it's always the same, right? So let's see if we can find a BI one. Yep, they got a bunch to choose from. Perfect, this is what we want. The clear line one, so BI video. Let's go back to the IDE. Let's get this added. Video. Alright, and then we can get rid of Lucide. Now let's start replacing these up, right? So the image R2 line, this needs to be as image. Alright, so that should be used, but maybe I already removed. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so image is good. Then text element is the next one. It should just be text. Yep, that's already in place. Video element should just be video. So these are looking fine. And then the CTA as, yeah, let's actually call it what it is. Okay, that's good. Let's look in the Sanity Studio, make sure that looks okay. Get over here. And these elements would be in the story. Let's see. Story elements. Have 2 call to action and text. Yeah, so it's working. I'm not gonna validate the other ones. They should be fine. Let's fix story. Story should just have 1, right? The newspaper icon. So let's find a newspaper icon in our newspaper. Perfect. Let's see if we get lucky. Do we have either BI or RI? Or RI. Perfect. That looks great. Alright, I'm just gonna do as here because I want to know what it is a little easier than reading around the React icon abbreviation, right? And then the word line there just doesn't make sense either. Just calling that a newspaper is good enough for me, so I'm gonna stick with that. It looks like everything else here is fine, right? All of our queries and stuff, we don't have any icon usage in any of that stuff, so I think we're good. Head back to the browser and make sure that that was good in the studio. Now this story icon, yep, that looks a lot more like a story. Right? Looks good. Tags is the last one. Tags is our last one. I don't know if we have any icons in tags, but the tag icon itself needs to change. So let's just swap that out. And we can finally uninstall Lucide, right? So let's do tag and let's do a search for I. Nope, 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 nope. There we go. Perfect. Boom. Done. Done. Sold. Looks great. All right, let's go back here. Go to our tag schema. Pop this bad boy in. All right, let's do as tag here. Done. All right, and then now we can finally come back here. Let's kill the app. npm uninstall side React. Oh, thank God. I am so happy to be getting rid of this package. Like, that package has been really odd. I love their website, okay? I love their website, and I love how many icons they have, but I would much rather use anything either native to one of the systems I'm using, like Sanity, or native to the package that I'm using, like React, right? So, great that they have their own huge library. Really weird that I couldn't use certain ones. I think you have to pay for certain ones of these. At least that's what it looked like. But like, I couldn't use CI, for example. TFI I couldn't use. I don't know why. All right, so now that we're done with the icon shifting, we can actually move on to the YouTube element side of this, which is we're going to add this new YouTube type to our Sanity Studio. So I'm going to copy this. I think this is pretty much going to be how we add it, right? So I'm going to go to our story element. And we have it called video element right now. We're going to make a new one called YouTube element. We can get rid of all this. I'll keep the play icon. Actually, no. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the exact icons and find a better play icon. Okay. let's just do the word play. Yeah, dude, they're gonna be way better. Okay, and then we'll do RI. Let's see, we need a play icon, something that would resemble the YouTube play. That looks really good, right there. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna use that. I think that might be what we use for YouTube, but that looks a lot like what you would see on YouTube. So I'm gonna use this icon, and we'll come back here. And yeah, so that's not here. So what I'll do, since this is RI and we have another RI being used, actually start spreading them. Go to the IDE. Okay. Get rid of that there. What we'll do is we'll use this name, but we'll say this is what we're, whoops, not that. Gonna be here. Oh, what's up, Envy? Thanks for the what's up, man? Appreciate you. Or the follow, I think it was. I prefer creating individual icon components using SVG code. The external library saves a bunch of loading times, more flexibility, and customization. So I think that these are SVGs. So these are actually SVGs that I'm loading in. That's how everything in the React icon library works. They are SVGs. However, I do think you'd have a lot more flexibility with the approach that you're saying. So I agree with you there that it's not as flexible when we're doing all this with, oh, here it is, play circle line. I did have it in. Yeah, so we are limiting ourselves by using whatever comes out of the box from these guys. That's true. But you know, you do what you got to do, right? And then they have this YouTube preview, which I'm not entirely sure where they got that from. Let's go back to the docs and see like what the heck they're talking about. I didn't even see a YouTube preview. Hang on, so you'll start by adding a schema, whatever, and then where'd they get the YouTube preview from? The next step is to import the file into the whatever available type YouTube setup, whatever. Yep, I get that. Now you can add, yeah, I get that. Okay, but what about this preview? Add a block preview. Oh, here it is. There's the YouTube preview. Okay, so that's where that came from. So they assume that you'd add your YouTube embedder first, and then the block preview comes after, right? So we don't need to do the block preview now. We can do the block preview later. So I'm gonna ignore the YouTube preview for now. It's not even part of this defined type anyway. So let's just go knock this out. We have our, let's get rid of this. We have our YouTube, I'll just call it YouTube. Let's call it YouTube block, because it's not just YouTube, right? Actually a YouTube embed. So the name of it is YouTube. Our title will also be YouTube embed. Yeah, I like this title. If we didn't want this title, we could just call it YouTube by getting rid of this title, and the title would be automatically generated from the name. But YouTube embed actually sounds good. I'm gonna keep that. Define field. So how did I do this? That's weird that they are doing a define field right here, but I guess that's weird. This is probably like an older version of the docs, because you don't need to do that anymore. You can actually just pass it a object and then pass in the criteria. Like the other stuff is, I don't know why they're doing a define there, but that's fine. We're gonna get rid of that because we are using the latest source. So that should be fine. We now have a new type. Then the next thing we need to do is go export this, right? We need this to be available as one of our available elements, right? So let's go to index.ts. In here, we'll go as the last thing here, we'll do YouTube. Okay, and then in order to see this, right, what we can do is on our story, we can just add this field, right? So maybe at the very top, right above the title, we'll say YouTube test, and then we'll just add this field. Now this, you do need a define field clause or method, sorry. So we'll say the name is YouTube, the type also YouTube. Yep. And that should be enough. So we'll come here. Let's go over to the browser, check out the Sanity Studio, and see what that actually looks like. Let's one take it, guys. Let's make sure we can one take it. All right. Heart emojis in the chat if you think I can one take this. Okay, don't. One that should have at least been the title field. Oh, I'm so silly. Okay, so, well, no, that should still work. YouTube is the name we gave it. Right? I think I just called it YouTube in general. Or did I add the word element to it? Let me see. Oh, it's just YouTube. Yeah, it should at least show us this one URL field. Yeah, on the story TS, I did add it. Oh, I didn't. Well, no, I shouldn't need to add this to a. Yeah, the type should just be to. Oh, the app is shut down. I have to restart the studio, I think. Yeah, it was shut down. That's fine. Alright, so no one take for that, but that's fine. Can't rebuild the studio without starting it over. Here it is. Okay, so here's our YouTube URL field, right? So what does that mean? What are we going to do with that? I have no idea. Let's find out what's next. Alright, so now that you have that in place, the next step is to import the file into the... So the first thing we want to do is we want to add this to as an available type in our block, right? In our what you see is what you get block. So let's do that first, right? So, and what I'm talking about is in the browser. So we now have this YouTube video URL. We know that that's working as expected, but that's not where we want it, right? Basically, we want it in story elements. And instead of story elements being this list of things you can choose from now, it needs to be an array that's in portable text, right? So the way you do that is you change it to an array type and make the first option, the first type of element in there is a block type. So if we go into our story elements, which is here, we can actually say that the first type is a block. Since this is an array, that already works. First type is a block. The second element is a text element. No, we don't even need text element, guys. Text element is going to be default, right? Like that's already a given, going to be a part of it. So we can get rid of text element altogether. I'm actually going to remove text element from our code in general, but we no longer need it. I'm going to do that. And then I'm also going to call these what they actually are. I'm going to just get rid of the word element from all of these. It's not necessary. Kind of redundant. But I guess that does help me differentiate elements versus actual document types. So I'm going to keep element. I'm actually going to just add it here. Yeah, element makes a little more sense since we have a bunch of different types that we're dealing with. So open that index file, pull in, get rid of text element, and then change this to YouTube element. So that's good. And then now here, we'll say the third thing you can choose from here is a YouTube underscore element. All right, and then we also have one more thing to do. Let's go back to the shared elements, and now for that name, to do YouTube underscore element. All right, now we'll go back to the browser and just make sure in the IDE, in the editing experience, this now is a WYSIWYG, and it has this kind of editing experience, right, where I can choose between either the CTA or I saw a show more link. Yeah, the YouTube embed, right? And then did you see the little icon? There was a little icon there. So let's do this. All right, let's just get that URL in there. Boom. And then now this is like our preview. We haven't set it up yet, but this is going to teach us how to make full previews for these things. You can see the little icon here too. It's really, really awesome. Insert call to. I hate this too. I hope they let us change that because I really don't like how wide that label is. It's taking up way too much real estate. All right, so let's just go back here. So we're at the point where we're on to the next step, which is the preview. step. So we're here, right? We're at this part. So now it looks like we need to install React Player and Sanity UI, which I think we have Sanity UI. I think we have Sanity UI, but it'll tell us if we have it already. Let's go install these dependencies. I'll shut down the app. Install React Player. What happens here? All right, added 5 packages, changing 1. Okay, let's just do this just in case. Yes. Vulnerabilities, nope, nothing. So we have clean npm install. Go back to the browser, see what they want us to do next. Make a new file called YouTube preview.tsx and put it in our schema types. Why is this a schema type? This is a preview file. I don't even know if I want to make this a... I think this doesn't make sense to go inside of schemas. What would make more sense if this was inside of a previews directory, and this was one of the elements, right? Because I think at some point we're gonna need to leverage these previews. Oh, but this is like the sanity preview, so this is never gonna be, yeah. So what would make more sense to me is if inside of the source directory there was also a previews item. I don't think we're gonna need this level of specificity, to be honest. I think we're only gonna have a handful of elements for this site, right? So let's just do that. Let's just do one level deeper. So inside of the schemas directory, we have all of these different schemas. I wonder if even outside of that, what we do, how am I adding these? Util, helper, let me see. Yeah, I'm adding these in a ... I hate that, right? So we should just use the @ symbol slash, and then where's that pointing right now? Let's go look at that configuration. Good here. Oh, it wasn't there. I think yeah, tsconfig. Here we go. I'm gonna go to tsconfig and steal this path declaration from here so I can add it to the tsconfig in Sanity, so I can start using the shortcuts, or not shortcuts, but like the alias to find these directories a little easier, right? No matter where I am in the app. So under compiler options, we'll add the path key, and then now we'll say if you see @ then start at the source directory and go on, right? So under person now, when I add this slash here, you can see now we can access that utils helper. So we don't need to do any like .. and things like that. Let me make sure this is place. So util. But that shouldn't be doing that. I think it just hasn't registered yet. Let me just do this real quick to get rid of the error. I'll save it and close it. And let's open that back up. Person, I think it will. Now if I do @ slash, it should start at, oh, there is no source directory. It needs to start at base. If it starts at base, then I'm outside here. So yeah, let's go here, and instead of saying source, it just needs to be base, right? So yeah, yeah, / anything, and then now when I do / here, I should see folders, which I see. Oh, okay. I thought that would work. Oh, but that's not it though. Sorry. That doesn't make sense to me if that works, but yeah, that didn't work either. Maybe you have to do a first level folder. Maybe you can't do just the root, which is a little strange if that's true. But I guess at that point you wouldn't need the you actually, yeah, that makes sense now that I think about it. You wouldn't need a alias if you're just saying use this to start at the beginning of the directory, right? It's just you can always be there. So you need to tell it some directory to look in. I'm just gonna try .star, which is essentially saying look everywhere. Yeah, that doesn't work either. So that means that our preview needs to go in some directory, unfortunately. Which I was hoping to avoid, but let's just make at least one for util. Nah, never mind. I'm not even gonna make one for util. I hate having to jump back like this. I need to use the util directory from where I am right now, and it just doesn't make sense. There has to be a way to do this. Like, there has to be a way to say, create an alias that says go back. So hang on, if we go to where source was, right? So / maybe it's just not star. That is so weird. I guess this is the first time though that I had to do it this way, but I've never had to do it without having a folder that I'm interested in. And I don't mind jumping back there, but I don't want to keep that either. Alright, I'll figure that out at some point. But yeah, these aren't encompassed in like an app directory that I can quickly get to. So I'm just gonna make a new, gonna keep going down the path we were going, but we just won't use any paths here. We'll just do the directory lookup like we're doing here. The only problem with this though is if this moves, if util moves, or if this file here moves, then now this is a broken path. But I guess we're not that big, like so big right now that we have to change it. Do you not have a base URL? It's nicer when it's absolute imports rather than relative. Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out, Inslee. I can't figure out how to get the base URL in place. Oh, I should also mention, Inslee, that this is my first ever React project. So a lot of the stuff that's probably second nature to you guys that are experts, I'm learning it as we go here. It's what the stream's about, right? Real developers learning real technology. So not gonna be the ninja here on the stream. Or not yet, we'll get there, but. Okay. So let's at least set up our preview directory, right? So let's come out of here, and we need a directory called preview. Where did that just go? Hey, where's my folder? Our preview folder, and then now inside of preview, we need a new file called, I think it was preview.tsx. All right. And then in here, I think we'll just copy this. I'm not gonna worry about it. But yeah, so we have the preview props from Sanity, which I think we've already imported that. We have the Sanity UI now, that's why that's working. And then we also have the YouTube player from YouTube. So this was obviously built with React in mind, with this embed purpose in mind, right? So that all works fine. And it looks like we don't even need to do anything else. It looks like this is just a ready to go preview that we can import somewhere now. So now go back to the YouTube type schema file with your YouTube schema type and add the preview configuration as well as the component. So that's going to be the little preview object. We've seen this a billion times, right? And it's saying that instead of using, oh, this is so helpful, this is good to see, right? We're going to need this when it comes to our, the CTA component and the image component, right? Because we're going to need to show a preview inside the UI. So what this is going to do for us, I think, is this is going to show a bar above the video that shows like a title. It'll just be, for us, it'll just be the URL. It looks like it'll just be the link of the YouTube embed. And then the preview is using that preview component, which I imagine accepts a single variable, right? Which is the URL. So let's go look at that before we just add it. So yeah, it has a property, and yep, that's exactly what it is, right? It's just looking for the URL value. So title is a URL value, right? That's the type of variable that title is. and then they're just literally adding that, right? So it's actually a string. URL is a string, but whatever. And they're just adding that to the YouTube player component, right? That's a component that we get out of the box. This is easy peasy, beautiful cover girl, okay? Let's go back to the browser. Let's go ahead and see what they're, oh yeah, let's just add this preview chunk, right? This is not new. We've done this many a times with our data types in Sanity, right? We've so far added plenty previews to the things we've built. This is no different. After fields, you add a preview chunk. Whoops, I must have copied something else. I'm gonna copy that. And there we go. We have our preview. We need to import our preview that we just exported from here, so we can go do that. That's going to be, let's do import YouTube preview, right? From this guy. Okay. We know that's where it comes from. There we go. Go ahead and save that. Looks like that is done. I think we're done. I literally think that's going to work now in the UI. And this is why I love Sanity. Someone was asking me that today, like, why do you like Sanity so much? Like, what is it about it that you like so much? And it's stuff like this, where these really seemingly difficult things that, well, at least things that used to be difficult back in the day, are a lot easier to do now. Like, they make it so good. Haha, it's all good. I'm no expert. Been in the field for around 4 years. I'm still learning too, but you need to configure your folder structure to have a source. Everything starts from there, then configure tsconfig base URL so it has a root folder to start from. Yeah, see, that's what I was gonna do too. I was gonna actually do that move, where so what he's talking about, guys, let's just actually go to this real quick. First, I wanna finish this little thing we're working on. So, and I'll explain what he's referring to right now, and then I'll explain why we didn't go down that path originally. I think that's worth chatting about. Let's use a Facebook short for the YouTube. I don't know if you can do shorts though. I don't know if you can embed shorts. Let's just use one of my actual long form videos that are not getting much love on YouTube at all. I thought these were gonna blow up, but I suppose not. So now that we have that, where's my preview? I don't see the preview. So maybe we have to add it somewhere else after all. No, it's actually on the type, so that's the right place for it. Yeah, so maybe, oh wait, we shut down the app, so it's not gonna rebuild this as we hit save. Okay, that gives us an opportunity to talk about what Inslee's talking about. To note, it depends on your project, whether it's needed or not, whether you have, exactly. So it's funny that he said that, they're in my head. That's exactly where I was gonna go with it, right? It's gonna be a matter of the structure of the project you're working on, right? So if you're working on a project like NextJS, for example, we all know that they have the infamous source directory, then they have the app directory, and that's up to you, right? You can add those directories to any project you want, right? Sometimes when you download a package or you run a application's, like let's say you run npx start Sanity app, right? Whatever that company gives you out of the box, right? Whatever that team of developers gives you out of the box for that package that you're getting from them, it's usually like whatever they deem as the best practice folder structure. Okay, so it's like, from our experience, here's what you should do. And I guess when it comes to Sanity, they didn't feel like it was important to have like the source directory be the starting point. But to Inslee, I think I'm saying it right. Maybe I'm saying it right. Inslee. Okay. To Inslee's point, more often than not, all of the React-based applications that I've seen so far, they all do come equipped with a source directory. But I guess it's arguable that Sanity is not just static React, but they're trying to be a content management system, a node-based content management system. So they don't play by that same rules because they don't deem their tooling to have a front end, right? Like not a traditional front end anyway. So that's my theory. Oh, I'm saying it right, Inslee? All right, cool. It's good to know. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, that's my theory. Okay, so I think we're good to start the app and actually test whether or not our YouTube preview works. I have confidence that it does. So we'll go ahead and open in browser. Let's head over to the browser. When this refreshes, we'll add one of our links from our channel. We'll see if that works. All right, so let's go over to story elements, and it worked. Look at that. We are seeing the real YouTube embed inline here. I'll go ahead and blow that up a little bit. We can kind of flatten that, and that looks good, right? And the reason this is so powerful is, watch this, guys. This is why this is so powerful, this editing experience. Look at that. Okay, if I wanted to, I think I could do. All right, so I think once I've started editing this, I can't. But if I do this, right? So imagine this. Let's go back to IGN. Okay. And let's say we were making an experience like this one, where you had these 3 paragraphs, and then let's say this was one of my videos underneath, right? So I'd come back to the studio, I'd add my 3 paragraphs. This editing experience is sick, right? The next thing I do is I just embed a YouTube video, add a URL. Sure, I can just click that. Oh, I have to double click it. All right, settle down, YouTube. I'm sorry I didn't double click you. They're so thirsty for that double click, dude. All right, let's go to videos, and then we'll just do one of these guys. Okay. Now we'll paste that YouTube video. Damn, that was fast. Did you see that embed? That was so fast. Okay, and then boom, right there, right? And then we can play it inline too. We can play it inline. It's pretty dope. That's so cool. I've never seen Sanity. I might look into it. Listen, I am not an affiliate by any means, okay? I am actually learning them, and the other tools I'm learning because they're some of the most modern that exist today. However, I will say that of all the tools I've used recently, as far as content management systems, not even just recently, okay? I have a long history of using content management systems. WordPress, Salesforce, Adobe, Zope, NewsCycle, Drupal, Laravel. I've used so many true to form, legitimate content management systems, and Sanity is by far the #1 that I've used ever in my history. And in my experience, it's also the only one I've used so far that starts with a completely blank slate. Like with every content management system I've ever used in the past, you at least get something out of the box. Some kind of guidance that says, here's how you should do things, right? You'll get like a fake content type or two. You'll get a few things, but Sanity doesn't have that. In fact, if you want that from them, you have to have a like pre-populated starter kit almost that really doesn't, it's not extremely helpful at all. So yeah, there's no tools like, for example, in Drupal, you can actually come into the UI itself and start building content types immediately the moment you install your Drupal system. Right? Laravel, you can start standing up routes instantly. There's no like WordPress, right? You can start standing up pages and whole experiences instantly. But yeah, this is Sanity is like, nah, man, it's your world. I'm just in it. Reckon you can use NextJS and Sanity. Yeah, that's what we're doing. That's exactly what we're doing. Yep, NextJS and Sanity is exactly what we're doing. That's so smart. So Inslee's, for those who aren't on Twitch, who are on the other channels, Inslee saying, so I'm guessing you can use NextJS with Sanity. And it's funny he says that because that's exactly what we're doing. Let's go. Let's go, Inslee, with the smarts. With the smarts. Yo. Gotta give Inslee the props right there, okay? Alright, so now that we have this, I'm gonna make this look a little better by seeing if I can play around with the embed settings. I hate how this is all stretched out and stuff, so I'm guessing, if we head back over to the IDE, this was a React package. So if we go back to our YouTube preview, this player was a package that we got. So I bet there's a lot of settings we can add to it so that it fits in our WYSIWYG experience, right? So I'm gonna go find React Player YouTube, and then I'm guessing they'll have a link to some documentation. Let's come here, React Player YouTube. Where is it? Is it here? Or is it React YouTube? I don't know. Let me just do a search for YouTube in here and see. They have like a direct. This might not be it. This might not be it. Because what we have is an actual YouTube player itself, right? This is a React player that is smart enough to use Yeah, so let's see if we can find our exact one, right? So let's try React YouTube. And what was that library they had? React Player YouTube? I don't see this. All right, let's go back to the IDE and find out like what package this is that they gave us. Oh, it is React Player. So maybe React Player just has a component called React YouTube Player, right? So let's just do a search for this browser. It's the name of the component. So it is in here. All right, so I guess we just have to go see. Yeah, thin layer over the YouTube iframe player. So all the settings that we need are probably going to be in this component, I bet. Here it is. Yeah, this is it, I think. I think these are our settings. Yeah, and then we have the height and the width. Yeah, this is it, guys. Oh, and then autoplay. Let's go. Let's go. All right, so let's see if this works out of the box. See how cool they are. Wait, let's make sure they have a URL key here. No, there's no URL key in the browser. So the player we have requires a URL key. I don't see a URL key in there. So let me just go back here. Like it was kind of promising. Yeah, I don't think this is the one. If I had to guess, it was this YouTube iframe player API, maybe. Smiling ear to ear. I'll put myself out. I'll pat myself on the back. You deserve it, okay? Customizable player options, maybe. You know, what's interesting is it's not easy to find this. Let's find out from the documentation whether, you know, if Sanity gives us the to player information. You will use a preview component called React Player for the YouTube preview. It can take a YouTube. Yeah, so this is it. So were we right? We were on the right track. We were close, but yeah, so here's our URL and then here's our width and height, right? So we can do width and height, and then loop means it just auto loop. I wonder if auto control, did auto start in here? Let's see, let's do a search for auto play. As of Chrome, videos must be muted in order to auto play. Some players like Facebook, blah, 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 blah. So you may want to enable controls to allow users to unmute videos themselves. Please set muted to true. Controls. That doesn't really tell us where the autoplay feature starts, though, right? Oh, on call when state changes are usually sales to autoplay. I can't say I understand how to make it autoplay though from here. I mean, not that I would want it to autoplay from the WYSIWYG. I don't think that would make sense at all, to be quite frank. But here's the width and height that we're getting by default, right? When you don't pass width and height, you get 640 by 360. Let's first see if that's accurate, and then we'll see if we can adjust that. I do want this to be a little smaller. Let's see. So it's 502 by, I think that's a percentage. Let's see. That's not it. Where's the actual... Oh, it is just autoplay, huh? Usually the embed itself has the width and height details, right? Because it's like an iframe being loaded in. That's basically what embeds are. Yeah, 640 by 360, right? So we come back to the documentation. Was that 340 by... Yep, 640 by 360 was the default. So we can control that. Now let's go see what the problem is with it. And let me know, guys, if that music is too high. I can turn the background music down a bit if it's too... So it's not that the embed itself is bad, right? I think the embed's fine. It's that you can't see the full video. Oh, you can. I'm so silly. And you can't see the player tools though. So the player tools are hidden. I'm gonna see how to enable the player tools, and I think we're good then. I think once the player tools are enabled, we should be good. But where's controls? Yeah, we'll set this to true, right? We'll set controls to true, and then that'll be all we need to do for this. We'll be done. So URL and controls equal true, right? Now if we go back to the browser, we should see in our IDE now, if I click this, well, if I refresh it, I think I still have the app started. I just need to... That's weird that they put me at this full URL. I hate it. Back to local 3. It when we're at 1, 2. Makes me feel like all right, what are we at? 175. Let's go to 150. I think that should be. Time is it? All right, we still got time to do the next part. So we'll go story elements. There's our story. Let's scroll. Let's actually blow this up. There's our video. Let's hit play, and there's our tools. Right? Woo. All right. So now that we have that out of the way, we can move on to the CTA. So this is a cool. Hey, that's not what I wanted. Oh, and we can literally move it anywhere. I love that. So that's probably how we were supposed to move this. Yeah, you're supposed to drag and drop the things where you want them to go. So I'm gonna move the video to like the second paragraph, and then the CTA at the bottom. And then let's actually double click that and finish. Hello world, you should subscribe. Alright, and then we'll say that the link is actually going to be our Twitch page, right? Stop it! Combo Junkie, and then a link text is going to be combo. Nah, join the Junkyard is probably what that would say. Join the Junkyard. And we're not going to do anything fancy pants here. We're probably going to just use ShadCN to style this quickly. With one of their card designs, but this needs to look like a CTA, right? It needs to kind of resemble what it's going to look like in the actual content. So let's see if we can find something from ShadCN. Oh, and one more thing, Inslee, another thing we were doing, a challenge that we gave ourselves, is throughout this entire project, throughout this entire project, we should have created 0 CSS, okay? The main goal was to use all of these modern tools and designs to not have had to write any CSS of our own. So that's been a lot of fun so far, but yeah. So we need something like a banner, right? Let's see what badge looks like. Badge sucks. Badge sucks. What's command? Just need like a little banner that stretches across. What about alert? Alert! This is what we need. This is exactly what we need. Tailwind. We are using Tailwind, okay? But we're only using Tailwind classes. Not once have we overridden any Tailwind or added any configuration objects that would override Tailwind. So we're like entirely CSS-less. Well, not CSS-less. We ourselves haven't contributed any CSS to what we've built on the front end. So if you look here, this, I mean, it's not great, but it's not awful either. None of this was built using our own CSS. All of this was just Tailwind, a bunch of, random classes from us. Really simple stuff. I love this alert. We're going to go ahead and use this alert. So let's just include this component. I'm down for the alert there. So we're going to add that to the studio. We don't need it in... oh, we actually do need it. We can't just use Shad. I forgot, dude. We can't just use ShadCN because ShadCN, I think, is based on... wait, ShadCN is just React, though. So let me see what we need for the installation here. Can't remember. I guess we could just use it the normal way. We were able to get away with the simplicity last time because it was all, yeah. Hang on. We might be able to install Shad in Sanity, since Sanity's just raw React right now, right? Yeah, I think so. So here, let's just see if we can install Shad CN real quick. Go back to the IDE. All right, let's see if that works. If that works, then we're good. NextJS plus Tailwind is my forte. Me too, all the way. I am a huge fan. That's weird. What is that? What does all this mean? All right, let's go ahead and grab Tailwind. It looks like that's a part of the requirements. So I am gonna do an, let's see, let's install ESLint, Tailwind, and Typescript. So, let me go find those packages. npm Tailwind. Yeah. Actually, let's go to their pages, right? Let's go to the Tailwind CSS docs, right? That's gonna be way easier. What? Dash D? Why dash D? Isn't dash D like development? Tailwind build process. I don't care about any of that stuff. This is the thing where you can like watch your Tailwind changes. Landed Philadelphia. Let me know next time you want to kick off a project. So we'd love to work on something with someone else that isn't for work. Yo, that sounds super lit. I would even dedicate stream time just for us to be working on something really interesting. Yeah, why don't you DM me your contact stuff, man? I'll ping you offline. We can get together one of these afternoons and talk through some cool things that we can do, dude. That would be fantastic. So it sounds like Shad-CN requires Shad-CN requires Tailwind, which is currently not enabled in my Sanity Studio. The question is, do I want to do some more recon and find out what my options are for Sanity time, right? Or do I want to just bite the bullet and use Tailwind, since we're also using Tailwind for everything we're doing in our next application? I'm gonna do the former, right? I'm gonna look on the Sanity docs. I'm gonna go through this and see if they have anything that is specifically for like portable text, right? They may have some kind of design suite that folks can just tap into, which would be easier for us, right? We're not trying to create anything if we can help it. So as long as they have some library that we can go get our styles from, then it's actually great for us. Ideally, we would have something that they've already extended. Yeah, here we go. Form components, okay? Let's see, what form components do we have? Help. It's like they do have form components. So one of the components they have, form components article. Okay, so this is the one we were just at. So this is the reference form API, which fine. Input and field components, which we don't need. Preview components is what we really need. But those kind of suck. These are kind of trash. Let's see, Sanity UI, which we have. Uses of the package bundle, most studio uses, but if you're whatever, from there you can import the various whatever stack, box, and text input designs. UI documentation. Let's see what they have here in the doc stack. They might have something that's worth our while here. Yay! This is exactly what we need. I knew it. Something told me they wouldn't do this without having some stuff that you can just tap into. So the question now is, do they have a actual, like a little, we want something that looks like a call to action banner, right? So we need something like, oh, not a tooltip. To be honest, I'm just clicking around right now. I don't think any of these are gonna work for us. Card looked promising, but that looks really bad. I mean, technically, what we're trying to build is, a strip across the page that has text and a link. Needs to look a little better than that, though. I'll be honest. Needs to look a little better than that. Okay. Yeah, I think they want us to manage the style of these guys. It doesn't look like they're actually giving us a cute design here, and I don't know what they use for styles. But it does look like they allow you to pass some style options on some of these. Like if we go card, it's just really something that stretches across the page. You know what? We're probably going to use card, and inside of the card, we're probably going to use grid to make it a certain width, like add a certain amount of columns and things like that. I think we're going to do that. So wait, how did they set this up? So grid is columns 2, 3, 4, and 6. What the hell does that mean? Columns. Number of what? Oh, gee. Properties. I mean, nothing. You have a Discord? I do, but it's not maintained or managed at all. I barely use it because it got a little out of hand, so I had to like ban everyone. And then I just never built it back up. So yeah, technically I have a Discord, but to be quite frank, I never use it. Maybe there's some opportunity there to stand that back up and see. I would need some help maintaining it though. It's extremely hard to maintain that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with card. And I think the idea would be that inside of a card, we have the ability to... You know what I don't understand, guys, is like, what is this whole, like, array syntax here? Like, it's saying spacing. Is that saying that those are for the various devices? And then properties has no real explanation as to what the property... Come on, Sanity, you guys can do better than it. There's no way they didn't explain this. I don't believe it, but let's just play with their arcade. They have a little studio area that we can play around in. So I want to say that these denote the different viewports, but there's only one way to find out. Let's actually go back to the docs, the original docs. No primitives, baby. No worries. I'll give you a follow on Twitter. Oh, appreciate it. Appreciate it. Finally, I have someone. I finally have a follow on Twitter that's not like somebody trying to sell me services. Like it's real. It's a real follower on Twitter. That's so awesome. I've been getting blown up by Twitter. Everyone's just asking me if they could sell me like a service. Like, hey, do you want me to build your Your Twitch profile? Like what, dude? I don't need that. I'm okay with that. Yeah, this is interesting that they don't actually explain in detail what those values represent. Maybe they're supposed to be intuitive. Here, what if I change this to 10? Okay, what happens? Full. No clue what that just did. 320. What if I just change this to 0? Okay, so this is the overall padding around the page, right? So, so I get it. So I'm guessing this is left, top, bottom, and right? So if I go like 10 here, the left padding should be crazy. Or it's just... So is it, hang on, let me do my padding CSS. I can't remember what the, it might be, if you only have 3, I think the one in the middle is 2 different directions, and the one on the left and the one on the right different. Let's see what it means when you only have 3. Here it is. Using the padding property with 3 values. Top padding is, so it starts at top. So it starts at top, and then it goes left, right, and then it goes bottom. So if we go back to their playground, where was that? On playground, let's get rid of some of the, we're a developer, right? We don't leave things open when we're done with them. Close these out. Okay, let's get rid of GitHub. Okay, cool. So now top here, I should be able to say like 20, 4, 5. What? Should be bottom, right? That's weird. Top padding is 25. Oh, these are in, I wonder if they're using Tailwind because these are in metric form, right? So if I do like 8, yeah, that's weird. I wonder if they are using Tailwind after all for those. That is actually kind of weird. Second one is 50 and the third one is bottom. Okay, so the second one is left and right. So if that's 8, if I take this down to 4 and I bump this up to 8, what did we just get from that? Let's go to computed. And it's changing instantly. And this should be bottom. I haven't seen that change, to be honest. There we go. Okay, so this is an easier way to see it. So there's our padding. If I go here, what if I go like 20? No, there is no 20, right? It would have to be something like 16, maybe 12 is one of them. 8 is definitely 1. 4 is 1. 2 is 1. It's not doing anything for it, though. Alright, how do I want to play this? Oh, it might be EM values. That's so true. It could be REM, right? Which is the device-friendly way to denote a pixel value. They do have their translations, though, and Tailwind is really good at informing you on what those translations are. So let's just do a rem to pixel converter. Then let's say we want to say that the padding top is 24 pixels. That's 1.5 rem. Let's see if that stands up. So if we want to say this guy 1.5, of course you can't do 1.5. Let's do 2 REM. Okay, that's going to give us a very specific padding top. Okay, that gives us 8, right? So 8 pixels, 0.43. So it's not REM, maybe it's EM. So pixel to EM converter. So if I did 8, set a pixel size, convert pixel to EM. What? 8. Yeah, I think you're right. If I did 2, pixels. No, not 2 pixels. If I did 16 pixels, 2 EM, right? So if we come here and we just do 2, which it is set to 2 actually. Should be our top padding. No, it's only 8 though. They're doing some funky stuff here. I don't know how they're computing that, but I don't see where they explain it either, which is a little annoying. Not here. Let's go back to... Here we go. Here's the UI library, and then let's look at the layout primitives. Pretty sure it's in here somewhere, and I just have no idea how to find it. I'm gonna have to figure this out. This is gonna be pretty important if we want to keep our goal that we have of not doing anything style-wise ourselves. Yeah, let's try one more thing, right? Let's see if we add a 4th item here. Let's see if we get our different paddings left and right. What's really strange here, guys, is that this is not different at all. Like, so this is my container. This is what I think is changing. I think this is what's changing. And what I see visually here does not look like a perfectly even set of padding to me. It looks like the leftmost side of it is more padding than the right. And it also looks like the bottom is less padding than the top, right? So it does look like it's respecting my... So what we have on the screen here is 2 at the top, the right is 4, the bottom is 10, and the left is 4. So in theory, if I bump this to 8, let's say, then that left should be way bigger if this is actually being respected that we think it is, which I don't think it is. I'm off to bed. I'll message you on Twitter or message me first. Sounds good, Inslee. Thank you for joining the Junkyard, man. It was really good to have you. Thanks for helping us get through some of that stuff too. Peace out, Inslee. Let's give it up for Inslee, y'all. Inslee, really smart developer, helping us out with some really cool stuff. So thank you, Inslee, for all your help. All right. I'm going to abandon this, and I'm just going to do a search real quick for sanity preview kit. How about that? Preview toolkit for sanity. This is the live as you type toolkit. Yeah, we'll get to this. This is in this sprint too, so we'll definitely get to this. But this isn't what we want right now. As a matter of fact, what I think I do, I think I do want to use. I do want chassis and a tailwind in our Sanity Studio. You know why? Because since that's what's going to be on the front end of our website, being able to showcase the actual components. Yeah, being able to showcase the actual components that'll be on the front end of our website is going to be important to have here, right? So let's go, let's actually do that. Let's do Tailwind CSS Sanity. I don't know if they even have anything. They probably wouldn't need it. This guy contains code examples from whatever. Yeah, the new studio is Tailwind. This was kind of annoying, actually. Where are we? npm install Tailwind post. Here we go. So let's do this real quick. Insanity. Let's go back to the IDE. Yeah, we're just gonna gracefully enable Tailwind and hopefully not blow up everything along the way. So the documentation says that if you generate this configuration file, it'll create this tailwind.config.js and the post CSS config.js at the root. Make sure you add purge settings to remove unused classes from the production build. Yes, we'll do that. Cool beans. And then we just need a styles/tailwind.css file and add these tailwind directives. And then you can include the CSS in which we won't have the pages/_app.js, right? So looks like they have care about any oh jeez. Lib.js. What is it for? Oh, so this is some portable text stuff that they're doing. These are the types. Here's a really cool block type. I don't care. All right. Yeah, that's fine. I think I am gonna use so I've already installed Tailwind. I think now the next step is to see if we can just install shadcn, which is what we did last time, right? That's kind of our go-to. So if I go shadcn alert was the component we wanted, but first we need to install shadcn on Sanity. What I'm gonna do is go here, we'll go to this NextJS piece, and then I think we just need this initializer. Because now we have Tailwind, TypeScript, and ESLint, I believe. We could still be using missing something, don't we have? But Tailwind CSS is installed. The IDE trying to get tailwind.css to be available, but I go to install this shadcn, it's telling me that it can't because it doesn't meet the criteria, right? It's missing, saying it's missing the Tailwind CSS library, which it's not, by the way. But now I am gonna uninstall that now because I don't want to I don't need these, so I'm not gonna have them if I don't need them. Uninstall. Alright, and then we'll just figure something else out for our previews here. Let's see what YouTube did. I think YouTube just used a card. Oh no, they use Flex. So we'll use a Flex bar of our own, and then we'll see if we can just use a card, like an assortment of things, right? We know there's a card in there. We'll try and use that and see what that looks like. So let's go back to the browser. Let's go steal their card. We'll just use that. All right, doesn't matter. And the one that we'll use is the very top one. That's the one that we really need. And even their outer container is a card, it looks like. So stack is the whole thing, right? Yeah, stack is the whole thing. So we basically need this for ours. So let's just see what that looks like, and then we can tinker with it, right? So if we go to their playground, we can actually tinker with this to get it to where we want it to be before we add it to our system. That's odd. Hey, where's my left right box? Yeah, I do need the stack space. Do I need the guy too? Guy get burned? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's our full card, which is kind of weird syntax, but that's okay. I don't love that syntax at all, but That's fine. So now what we'll do is in our preview, we'll do a new file called call to action. We shouldn't be using any of these abbreviations. I don't know what came over me when I used it earlier today, but there's never a reason to abbreviate in code these days. You used to do it back in the day to save space. You know, every little bit counted back then, but bits don't matter anymore. Bits don't care about your feelings. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I gotta. All right. So we're gonna do a CTA here. I don't know what we need to import, except the things that are gonna be in here, right? So we need the card and the text, and that's it, I think. Oh, and the preview props, if there are any. I don't know if we'll have any, but I think you always have to maybe have to include those. I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna add it nonetheless. Where is it? Preview. I don't know if this is needed, but you know, better to be safe than sorry. So this is a function that is going to return some JSX, which is here. And let's make sure we have card stack X. All right, so what we're saying is the opening container is there, followed by this stack container, followed by the card container, followed by a text container, some text and a link. Start closing stuff out. All right, and now what we'll do is we'll call this the card call to action preview. All right, this is why it's so important though to like understand how to write some of this stuff yourself. Like it's so critical being able to take some of the stuff that you find on these other websites and use it for your own purpose. But also, if you run into a situation like we just did, knowing how to do what we just did, like say, screw it, I'm just gonna grab that markup that they have and then figure out how to get it in my app. I think that's also just as important. And we don't know it that well yet, but we're getting there. We're getting to the point where we are starting to be able to say, oh, that's just, you know, an export of properties, right? That's just a property being exported. Like that should be fine. We know exactly what that's asking for. So now what we want to do is we want to be able to say that our card preview looks like this, and this guy now needs the text from that card preview. It needs the link text. It needs a lot of different pieces of information that we should be able to pass over in props, right? So if we come over here to our YouTube, not the preview, but where we used it, this kind of shows us what we're up against, right? Like what we need to do to our call to action. So we can go to the CTA element, and I'm actually going to change this as well to call to action element. There's no reason to abbreviate, right? Because we may have a real CTA element where it's like some kind of like a Chicago Transit Authority, right? That's a bus service. But yeah, there's no reason to do that with these. Like, I don't know what came over me when I was abbreviating those. I usually never do that. But it's fine. Where is it? where oh, it's going to be in story. So there we go. All right, so now that's all clean. All right, let's close that out right now. We also don't need index, we don't need tags, we don't need person. We only need these two for now. So now what we want to do is on our YouTube preview, not YouTube preview, on our story, I guess we did need story, on our stories YouTube section, not on story YouTube, on the elements YouTube section here, we have this preview section. So now what we want to do, now what we want to do is we want to copy this and we want to use that on the CTA section. Okay, so in our CTA area, we can go ahead and collapse these fields, and under the fields, we can pass in the preview. And the component is going to be that call to action component, right? So if we're not going to put these in separate files either. We're going to put these in the same file. Let's just call them previews, I think. Nah, there's no reason to do them in the same file, because I may have a preview that is going to be really complicated, like a gallery preview, for example, will be really complicated and have a bunch of extra stuff in it. So we'll keep these separate for now. All right, so then we'll just actually import our call to action preview. Did I call it call to action preview? I sure did. Call to action preview. Yeah, okay. So call to action. Let's actually put the word preview behind this. All right. And then whenever you have these named the same, you can actually just do defaults. So I'm going to just do export defaults function on that, and then now I don't need the word there. I'm going to do it here as well. Export defaults function for YouTube preview. That's going to be a assumed default now, so that should be fine. Share elements here. I don't need this anymore. It's going to be that. All the action preview is going to be that. All right. Missing the single quote there. That's fine. All right, let's get that one. All right, so now we have our previews. I really do think that there might be an opportunity to aggregate these into one file and then just use the same type of organization I'm doing here, where we just add them both in one object and separate them by commas. But for now, we're going to leave them off in their own separate worlds, right? So call to action preview is what I'm going to use in the preview state here. And what data do I need to pass to this preview? So to start, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and pass everything for now, right? So right now it's passing the selection for title, saying use the URL. What other fields do we have here? We have the title, description, link .url, and then link text. There we go. Okay, so we got title, which we don't need to do title. So title, and then description, which can be description as well. Description, and then let's just pass link, right? Let's just pass link. Right. Oh, they're forcing me to do it. I didn't think they would force me to do it. I thought they'd be able to destructure that for me. All right. Well, yep, these need to be flat string values, I guess. And then, yep, link text, yeah. Exactly what I want. Okay, so now the components, the props, should have these inside of them, okay? So now, let's fix that. Okay, cool. So now if we go back over to our call to action preview, and here, if we were to just console log props, okay, and then let's, is our app still running? No, yeah, it's still running. So if we go back over to the app, to the Sanity Studio. And this is their studio. We'll leave that open for now. Let's go back to our studio though, which is at 3. I don't see it here. All right, so we'll do local 333. 3333. All right, and we'll come in here for story. We'll pretend we're gonna add a CTA. It's gonna be a story element. We'll remove the block, that's fine. And here, now when we go into that CTA experience, make sure this is full screen. Get rid of this for now. And then here, we'll say under here, I want to add that CTA. All right, so now we'll say, hello world. Hello world. This is the CTA description. Isn't it neat? And then for the URL, we'll say whatever. That is so annoying that it keeps popping out of that. I think it's the validation I have on that for some reason. I need to get rid of that. That is very annoying. I don't think I'm gonna do this, but yeah, click here to join. So that was really weird. That's so annoying. All right, so now we're getting the CTA. This is what we want, right? It's definitely not the look and feel we want, but this is the experience we want, where we have this in context call to action bar, right? So the first thing we want to do is let's just get the data right. We don't care that it doesn't look the way we want it to. Let's get the data right? So here is our object. This is the params that we're passing. We are passing title, right? Remember that was the key that we had, link text, link. So we have almost everything we need. We have the description. We didn't even pass, we did pass description. We passed description. So we have everything, right? So what I want to do to make it super clear to my developer, right? I want to say that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that instead of it being props, it's going to be just give me the stuff that I need, right? So if we come back over here to the shared elements, we know exactly what we need. We can grab these. We can pop these in place, right? So it's going to be title, description, and we will add question marks because I don't know if the user is typing all of these in, and I don't want to cause errors when the user hasn't typed all these in. I have a feeling, a fleeting suspicion that that's what's happening. But it looks like I can't. A binding pattern cannot be optional. So now why do they not like this? All right, so I can't destructure it. I guess I have to leave it as just props. That's okay. The only thing I hate about using props is that the actual variables themselves are all gonna live underneath props. So that is kind of annoying, but that's fine. So let's start getting these to represent the actual data. First, we know we have a props.title. What? How's that not working? It's a .tsx. It is. No, that doesn't mean. I just console log title. Props.title for sure, yeah. I don't know what this is complaining about, but I'm almost certain this is gonna work when we So I don't like this. I don't like this preview props. Here's what I'm gonna do instead, right? I'm gonna say that you are giving me a title, you're giving me a link, you're giving me link text, and you're giving me description. And then I'm going to say that you, sir, are going to give me the same thing, and I'll just define what you guys are. And title is a string, link is a string, link text is a string, and description is a string. All right, so now that looks a little cleaner, a little more like React expects. Okay, so now that that's in place, I'm actually not going to format it that way because it is taking up a lot of real estate. But I will format this part this way. Yeah. Nah, I'll leave it like that. This is how I've seen it done in a lot of places, so I'll leave it like this. And I wonder if I could do this here. No, okay. So that looks good. And then what I'll do instead is this will be an interface. So this will be a interface called call to action view props. Okay, whoops. Those things. I've been seeing people at work use enums, and I still don't know why they're using enums over interface or enums over other things. I honestly think they're just doing it because they just learned about enums and it looks cool. But I've not seen any reason why they need enums over interfaces. I just really don't know why they're doing it. It's really annoying. And then I asked them, and they're like, "Oh, because you gotta sometimes you need enums." You know what I mean? And I was just like, "What? What is this logic?" All right. I think here for href, I actually think you might need this. I'm not entirely sure here, but href does need quotes. Hang on, so let's actually see the happy path first, right? If we were to just do link here, does this work? And then obviously here, this is just link text. And then we also need a description container that looks a little different. The alignment is off too, right? But mainly right now, what we want to focus on is like, does our app look right with the things we just did? So let's go back to the story elements. Let's go to our CTA. Let's blow this up. Boom. I hate that we have to keep coming back doing this over and over. It's annoying. So yeah, so far so good. Is the link right? Yeah, so we didn't need to add anything around the link element. That's great. So now we need to do a couple of things, right? Ideally, since this is a CTA, we want the CTA to look more like title in the middle, bold. Underneath the title, description, not so bold. Underneath that, the call to action, but it looks like a button, right? So let's go find out from the documentation how we can achieve this. So the first thing we know we need is to play around with the text. Text has some styling options that we'll need to tinker with, right? So what about like weight? Perfect. Okay, we need bold, right? So if we go back to our IDE, we can update that text component to be weight of bold. I think it's just a string. Bold, yep. And then now that that's in place, that's fine. The next thing we want to do is we want to make it so that the size is a little bigger than the text. What size did they give us here? They gave us 3 sizes. I'm guessing these are the sizes for the various viewports, right? So if we do like, let's say that the first one is mobile and we say we want to make that 15. Okay, if I go down to 320, so one, yeah, okay, so let's say 3, 4, 5. So it goes up to 4. 4 is the biggest we can go. So, which is fine. I'm gonna go with 3. I'll go with 3 for the CTA title and then 2 for the CTA text, right? I think that makes sense for us. So what we'll do is we will duplicate this. We'll take this link out of it. We know that we want this link to be its own thing. As a matter of fact, we know we want that to be a button. Actually get our button in here. I like this publish button. and they have icons that we can add, and I bet you those icons are the ones from the. I bet you those icons are components. So that's actually perfect. So icon left here is what we would. Whoops. So yeah, it's just gonna be icon. That's their default. And icon left is it. So let's start tinkering around with this, right? So we know that we don't want this here. We want instead a button to be under here, where we have more top padding than. Let's see. This is mobile. Can I do 4? No, that's the padding there. We need the. Maybe it's margin. Margin equals array of 2, comma 2, comma 2. So yeah, that doesn't look right. So we probably just need their maybe it needs space. So here, if we look at this, are we all in the browser? No, you guys are in my IDE. How do I keep making this mistake? That is so unprofessional. I sometimes get into it and I can't remember that I'm doing, but sorry about that. Okay, so inside of this card we have text, and here is where we would want some space, I think. Let me see what space controls here. Okay, that's not. So if it's 3, then what if I make this? Got this 3. What if we just get rid of space altogether? Yeah, that's not doing anything for us. I know it has something to do with the. So if we have a button, right? Oh, inline space. Maybe it's inline space. Oh, this is also an arcade, I think. Yeah, dude, this is also an arcade. That's so crazy. There we go. All right, so we see something happening. All right, let's go back to the. So there's an inline space here that they added, and we can apparently add styles. Not entirely sure what they do. We need to know how to stack things though. So let's go to like container. We just need to find one example of them stacking things. Like top to bottom though, right? Here we go. Stack. All right, and then how did they do it? Oh, they added a stack variable component, I mean, right? They added a stack component between the things that you want to stack on top of one another. So technically, right, we have a stack here that we don't need, I bet. Right? This stack right here is not needed, because we're not stacking anything on top of that card, right? So if I did this, and I'll just cut this out for now. We'll keep that text. We'll keep that button. I'll get rid of the added stack here. And boom, we still have the exact same end result. However, now if I wrap this guy, if I wrap this text component in that stack, and then I wrap this button as well in a stack, okay, now we have those two elements stacked on top of one another. And I believe if I added some space, so I'm guessing this is left, top, right, and bottom, right? So if I just said comma 0 here, and what if I said like 6? Oh man, understanding these little understanding these like these little pieces here is really complicated. I don't know why I'm finding it so hard to understand what they mean. Number. Yeah, I agree with you on that, Sanity, but I don't know what the hell you mean by most of the things you're talking about. Oh, okay, so here's something that we can use, a Figma that has all of the, yeah, I'll join, that's fine. So I should be able to open that Figma and figure out like how this stuff is working. So wait, like if I wanted to replicate this design, like what is this telling me though? Like, can I see the code for it? There's the design, but that's not really telling me. You know, I don't want dev mode, really. I just want, yeah, this isn't really telling me what I was thinking it would. This is insane that I can't figure this out right now. Maybe they tell you what everything means in here. Where's the readme? It's this bullshit, right? Yeah. Maybe they have a theme file that we can look at. This is actually really annoying that, and this is another reason why it's so important to, like, already know, already understand these systems before you dive in, because stuff like this, where it's this, like, really simple, question that we're asking, it's not that we're quickly able to like dive in to what we want to do, right? Because we're so caught up with having to learn stuff that's unrelated to what we're doing. Like it's really annoying. But all right, so far we have found what we were looking for, but now we need to make sense of it. Like, where are they passing these parameters, right? Where they have I don't think it's the controls, right? Basically, you pass a card, and then that card gets properties, right? And those properties come from, I think, this story. Let's see, where are props? That'd be the main container getting the props, right? They're just like already loaded default stuff. Right? Font size, padding, radius, shadow. I want to say that might be what that means, but let's go back to here. Let's see if I add a 4 here. Do I get a shadow on that? What if I add 44? Oh no, they're just the. Okay, so wait, what was the first one? I think we just found out what these mean. So the first one I think is font size. I want to believe that so bad. So if I do 4. Oh, this is clearly the padding object right here. Oh yeah, it actually says padding. I'm so stupid. Okay. So this is all 4 padding. Like this is all 4 padding. We just need to see how padding is being used. Space control. Oh, so you can actually tell it what padding to use. That's not a problem, it looks like. So what about stack? What can I do in stack? So here are my options for stack. Space being one of them. But also margin bottom being one. So maybe we can just add margin bottom and be done with it. I don't really care about specifics. What if I did 3? No, 2. 2. Yay! 3. Yay! All right. So I actually don't want to put these in stacks then, right? I actually just want to put these in a button. Get rid of stack. And then get my button here. Yep, that works perfectly. I am actually going to take that out of the stack. I don't need the stack anymore. I'm going to do that. And then I am going to align center. That worked? Nope. So button doesn't seem to have an align option. I'm gonna bookmark this because I think we're gonna need this anyway at some point. So there's button. Let's see what arguments we have on button. Doesn't have the option. We do have a width option. Because I want that button to be contained, but I also want it to be centered. So maybe inside of this card, I can do align center, right? So equals center. Yeah, there we go. And then now I can get rid of the center here. All right, and then now I can also say on this guy, I can say margin bottom is equal to 2, 4, 8. All right, nope, doesn't make sense to go from that direction. So let's do margin top on here. And top equals 2, 4, 8. Nope, can't do that either. What about 2? That's not working. So something is now making it so that I can no longer do my margin. What did I get rid of? Is it the stack that I got rid of? Yeah, it was the stack that I got rid of. But man, I don't like this width. Width equals 3. 50%. Button does have a width, but it takes in a string argument, which I don't know what that get button width control is without here. Okay. So it takes a control, options, and mapping. Yeah, I don't know what I genuinely don't like the fact that this is stretching all the way across though. That's gonna look really weird. So maybe it's like width, and then it's like it's an object that's like fill and then cost. So let's try just fill. None. Let's see what happens if I just take this out of the stack. All right, that works. That works. Okay, so we can add the stack to the text, right? Just so we can get that text to look good, and then we can center. Should be able to do align equals center here. But of course now we need another stack, right? Easy. Okay. Oh shoot, now we're in the same place we were in before. What if I just put this in a card and align the card center, and then here. Okay, there we go. Now we have what we want. This is what we want. And then the text size, let's see, 1. Yeah, okay, so this is working. This is my mobile text size, which let's say 3. And then for 375, it's gonna be 3. So that looks good. For 768 and full, 3 works fine still. So now going back to 320, we're gonna say underneath this is more text, but the sizes are all -2. Yeah. So I bet I can get away with just declaring once. Right, so if I go here 320, 375, yeah, there's no reason to change that. And then I think the one thing we want to do there is here, let's say copy, that copy. Right, because there could be a long description. Oh, that looks ridiculous. We'll say it stops maybe down here. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so now we have our preview. So let's actually take all of this HTML or React component up. And let's redo this now. So we'll get rid of this one. All right, and then let's structure this the right way. Okay. Right there, and then a card there, and then now we can pull all this, indent all this a bit. 946. All right, we're not doing that. All right, and let's pull in button. So card. Let's actually clean this up too. And then so this is button, card, stack, and text. Sanity UI, and then this guy here. Preview props. We're not even using that anymore. We can get rid of that. So now we'll say, this looks good. This looks good. So this is going to be our title, right? This is going to be our description, but I don't think it's going to work as easy as we want because it needs to be plain text or wrapped in portable text, which we're not doing. So this might throw us a bit of an error. We'll see in a second if that throws an error. The align here should be working. It's not assignable to type whatever. So looks like 2 of these are actually. So is it just one of those things where I have to pass like? Let me just see what a line is here. Working on text. Just start working in that other environment as well. I don't know why it's throwing an error here. Where is it working? So maybe what I need to do is just not align that center. Oh, that wouldn't make sense. Center. All right, well, let's just at least see what this is like. All right, there is an icon, publish icon. Let's see what that is. Publish icon is this up arrow. We don't care about that icon. Let's see what this looks like without it. Looks great to me. So let's get rid of that. We don't need that. All right, let's save it, load it up, see what it looks like. All right, so we are missing the size for mobile. I'm actually gonna drop this down to the sizes that we had before. So if we go back to the IDE, we said this was gonna be all 3s. Which no, that's just padding. Yeah, all 3s, all 1s. So that it was that this should be maybe 2. That does look better. We have way too much padding on that though, right? So let's get rid of that padding. Say the padding drops to 1 all around. Try 1 all around and see if that looks good. Oh, so we'll say 2 all around and be done with it. Back to the browser. Man, troubleshooting this right now is really cumbersome. I think that's my one complaint. So now centering this is gonna make that publish button stretch out though, which we don't want. So we need to figure out how to wrap that in something that's allowing us to wrap, right? So what if we added a line to stack center? We get the same error, right? It's basically telling us that this type children element space number margin bottom whatever align string is not assignable to type intrinsic attributes and stack props and omit and ref attributes. Property align does not exist on type whatever that intrinsic attribute. So what's happening here is that stack. So here, let me just look this up because I think I know what's happening here, but let me just look up the resource. So I'll do that, and then I'll say sanity UI. So let's see. Specify the type for the components variable. Oh, so for the actual, wait, where would I do that? Yeah, I mean, it looks like stack just doesn't have a that unless it... So maybe it's text align. So hang on, let's do a search for a button. No, a card. So, all right, here's the card and card props. It definitely does not have a align attribute. That's fair. And I'm guessing stack doesn't either. But then what do you in that scenario? So it's position. Absolute or fixed. Oh, that's not. I feel like the problem is that we're using the wrong, so maybe when you want to do that, what we're trying to do, maybe it's container and not stack. So what if we change card right here to container? Right, we know that exists, and then what if we do a line on that? Right, so if we come here and we add container, right, we know that exists, but nope, a line doesn't exist on that either. Yeah, so we just need to find something that has a line on it. So what we can do is inside of index, we can search for a line, I think. So we know heading has it, label has it, responsive flex props has it. I don't know what the hell that is. Responsive text align. Text align here, text props. Text align here. So here's button props. Button text align. That's not what we want. So maybe we do justify. And then they have some what the modes, button mode. Button props. Yeah, this is it. I feel like we're onto something with this. Different, but this is a real thing, I think. I'm gonna try justify center and see if that does something for us. I'm gonna actually get rid of our container now, and then I'm gonna just try justify equals center here, and then I'm gonna see in the UI if that made a difference. Didn't. Shoot, that is interesting. So we know this isn't going to work, this card having a... Let's see what our other options are as far as containing elements. We may have something else that we overlooked. Grid's always fun. Flex. This. Yeah, but we know that's not gonna work, right? We know container doesn't have one. Let me see what this looks like without the container around it at all. Yeah, it needs to be inside of something that's centered or centerable. What if we just moved button into the text array? I feel like that's not gonna work. I mean, if this works, that's janky, and I would just trust that yeah, that's not gonna work. I'll just put it inside the stack. I think when we put it inside the stack, though, it's gonna stretch that button all the way across, which we actually don't want that, but maybe this is our opportunity to use the width attribute on the container. So maybe now I can add a container around this button and say that the width is 0, meaning that it should just be the size of my content. So what if I did that in the IDE? Let's go back to the IDE. Let's actually use a wrapping container, and then we'll add width, and we'll say that the width is 0, right? And then now let's scoot this button up. Let's go back to the browser, and let's just see what that looks like. Nah, that's not centered. Shoot. Oh, this is telling us what the... Nice. This is telling us what properties we have to work. So box looks promising. Still no alignment, but yeah, I'm not convinced. There we go. So let's use flex. Instead of container, it's flex. We'll add in a line of center. And here, instead of using container, we'll use flex. All right, there we go. So that worked, but let's see if it worked in the browser. Moment of truth here. And, what were we... Maybe we need to justify content. Let's do a justify on that. Browser. I'm actually pretty sure that it's a string. Justify, yeah. I'm pretty sure we could use a string there instead of having to wrap that in React. I don't think we needed to do. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so we got it. So let's come back here. I'm pretty sure we can pull this out and just do this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now we have our call to action preview. It looks pretty good. We do want to say there's a button that has an href on it. Let's see if our button is able to be clicked on. I don't see why Sanity would let you do that though. What I'm thinking, because in theory, when you click on something in Sanity, it goes to a place in the Sanity Studio. It shouldn't be taking you off site by any means. We have, no, but we can wrap that in an anchor tag. Dialogue. So this is a like a pop-up, I think. Yeah, so pop over. And I don't see anything that looks like a link, and button doesn't look like it actually takes you anywhere. It doesn't look like that's what it's meant for. So this could just be a representation of what the link looks like, but it doesn't necessarily have to take you to where the link takes you. I mean, I imagine if I added the actual HTML syntax to wrap this button in a link that opens in a new tab. So if I do if I do this, right, and then I just place this button inside it, I imagine there's nothing wrong with this. I imagine that they're gonna be just fine with leaving that styled as a button in the UI, and like allowing us to say when our users click on that, if they're validating their URLs, yeah, you see it opened up google.com, right? So that's actually fine. This works for us, right? This is a really good CTA example for us to say, we can now double click this. We can edit this, right? We can say, instead of saying hello world, it's learn. It could say live development with the pros. Live coding with the pros, right? Coding with the pros. Join us live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday as we dive in head first to some of the most modern technologies on the market today. All right, and then it's like, instead of this, it'd be our Twitch URL. That's really annoying. I don't know why that's happening, but I'll need to find out why that's happening. And then it's like join today, the URL. And then now we can see that realized here. Now this says publish right now, but that's because the text is here, right? If I change this to, instead of it saying text, this is now the link text, right? I should see that realized in UI, where now that button is the link text. Yeah, we are definitely hell of a ride, but we did it. Yes. All right. That looks really good. So now we have an inline YouTube video embed, and we have an inline CTA, and that's all being surrounded by whatever text we can think of. Okay. So if we had more, we do have one more component, which is the image component. I have a feeling, though, that the image component does not need much of an advanced preview. I think it's going to be fine. I think one thing I do want to add here is I want to say that our YouTube embed preview has a title card at the top, right? So it doesn't even need to be a card. It just can be a text component that we add in there. So let's go do that right now. And we'll just call it whatever the video title is what we'll call it. So I'm going to steal this title here. I'm going to go over to our YouTube preview. And here we have this YouTube player, which is nice, right? Good for add that. And I'm just going to come here. Whoops. Come here, and I'm going to paste this in. Right, and then I'm going to say that, and then I'm going to surround this by the TSX required empty DOM, because everything needs a parent div. And then instead of only passing in that URL for the YouTube preview, Another piece of data we're going to have them supply us is a video title, right? So if we come back over to our shared elements and we come to our YouTube at the bottom here, instead of only having a URL field here, we're also going to now have a title field. So let's do that. Comma here, and then here, this is going to be called title. The type is going to be string, and this is fine. So now it's going to be a title and a string, and then here, what I want to do now is I want to say that you get a title from the title, and then you get a URL from the URL. Okay, and then now inside of the preview, we just have to adjust for that, right? So now this is destructuring this, but we're going to say that it's going to be title, and then it's going to be URL as URL, but it's going to be title as string. Okay. Oh, because preview props is probably not expecting a URL here. It's probably title and something else. Let's see, what is preview props? Yeah, title is one of them. And what is it? I think we were just using so what else do we have? Yeah, is not what we want. That's the actual image, I believe. Yeah, it looks like title or the subtitle's another one. Well, I'm not going to use that then. I'm just going to make my own interface here, and I'm going to call this interface the YouTube YouTube preview props, and we'll say this comes equipped with the title, that's a string, and a URL, that's a string. Okay, and then now I don't need, because what I'll do is I'll use my YouTube preview props here, and now I don't have to declare these types. They're going to be inferred from what's up here. So title and URL is what we'll use, and then yeah, this is all correct as is. This is all good. I'm going to go ahead and save that, and we'll just ignore that preview one. They were trying to help us out there, but we're not going to use what they had given us. So now our YouTube video should have a title on it. Did I cut off the app? So let's do this. Let's refresh the page. Change some pretty important data structures. I don't see our text. Let's see. I am passing it back. Okay, no, I'm not. Element is not assignable. Wait, so that means something up here. Here, let's go back to that pre-props. Yeah, so what was the layout key is what this was. They are serious about that. Yeah, it looks like I can't, yeah, and then that render default method is going to run, right? And it really needs that to be a React element that gets returned. So we need a better way to deal with that. The CTA seemed to handle it just fine. Oh, no, it didn't. The CTA doesn't like it either. So hang on, let's go back to where we had preview props here and see what our options actually are. So if I don't declare a type for this, do I still get yelled at? Yes, because you have to do a property that's available in preview props, otherwise it's not going to work. So, I mean, we could do image URL, we could do subtitle there. What I want to do though is instead of destructuring this, nah, because that's not how it's going to work, right? What's happening right now is we're simply saying that we are going to respect their preview at the component layer, right? So components, we either can do this or we can make our own little hook. But if we use this preview key, we are then forced to do what they want, right? So if we look at one of our other ones though, we have a prepare statement that this allows us to literally return whatever we want. We can return our own JSX component here, which I think is what we'll do. And that way we shouldn't have any dilemma there, right? Any problems. We'll just say whatever you get back, I wonder if prepare also has its own thing in mind, right? Yeah, see, it's still preview though, right? At the end of the day, this is all they want. Yep, and then if it's not matching these, they're like, I don't care about what you're trying to do there. So the YouTube video, that's interesting. That's interesting. So we can pass title, and then I guess the URL can be the image URL property. And then that's what we'll need to pass here. And then for the URL there, and then for the title though, if we come back here, where's our YouTube element? Still not working. This is not liking this for some reason. Try this. What this normally says is I'm going to call it title, but here's where I want you to pull from. So if I call this image, I think that'll work. All the way back. Yeah, so that's just, oh man, so tough. Title and URL, and then if we come back here, where we're which I don't believe this. I don't believe this for a second. I think that what we're doing wrong here is in our selector, there must be a way to pass into this preview more specifics. Yeah, there must be a way for me to pass this preview. So like under components, right? Like I should be able to pass that preview, which here's the preview piece here. Then it takes in preview properties. And I'm guessing this is what it is, right? I'm guessing in here somewhere, you're allowed to declare a bunch of different stuff. Like maybe it's options or something. But yeah, if you do render default, you're going to be forced into that. Title is something that allows you to... Yeah, but it's like or a React node or a component type. So those actually take full components. Yeah, so if you're gonna use that preview, what was my other options on there? Hang on, what were my other options on there if it wasn't? Let's go back in here and let's click through to components. So I'm gonna go back to the IDE now. Let's click through components. Damn it. All right, here we go, object components, right? And let's see if this allows us to just pass in data. So here's some input props. Input props. So no, this is like state stuff, right? Like if we wanted to, we can specify some stuff to listen, like respect state on those, right? But I don't think that's what we want. We can pass a field there if we wanted. We can pass item, which what is item props? Like it. There has to be a way to do it. We'll just need to dig into it. But I imagine there has to be some way to pass that preview component more than just like, because think about that, right? What you're basically saying that your developers are going to have to keep in mind is that your YouTube preview requires a URL, but you're going to supply your YouTube previews object just to solve that, just to satisfy that error. You're gonna pass your preview object the wrong, like required, if the wrong details just to satisfy that information, right? So it requires a title. The select object requires a title, and you're gonna just use that as a placeholder to get your URL. So in theory, right? Watch, this is gonna work. What I'm about to show you, and that's why this is actually bad. This is a limitation. Rather, it's not. Well, it is bad. It forces a bad development pattern. And here's why, right? So if we had a title field here, and we'll say the type is a string, okay? And then in here we say, well, I've already used title, so let me just use the subtitle key. And I'll say that that actually pulls from the title field, right? Yeah, so comma. Then now this works, right? There's no error on this per se. Now in here, technically I am getting title now. So I could say, basically what they're saying right there is like, use the title as the URL and then use the subtitle as the title, right? And then now I can add that text component back from, where did we have it? We had it here. I can add this text component back now with no problem, right? I could be like, this is not right. This is an anti-pattern. I'm not gonna call it an anti-pattern because it's their system, but it forces a poor programming, a use of a poor programming technique. Yeah, this is saying for the title, use the URL. For the subtitle key, use the... Totally thought. That's not what they called it. Let me see what they called it. That not a so let's just use title and image URL. Title's not going to work for us though. That's not like a field type of theirs. So I suppose we can use image URL and that's the only string type they have. So we can. Let me try one more thing. I just did string. So let's not use title. Let's use video title instead and see if that works. Yeah, because this isn't an actual type though, right? Subtitle has it's like something in there. Hang on, let me try one more thing. What if I just did props dot here? Oh, now that's not working. It'd be props dot title actually. Then let me see if props dot subtitle works. Oh, but now that's not working because of probably the same error. Yeah, it's saying it doesn't like me trying to assign this value. So we need to figure this out. This is definitely going to bite us at some point. If we are saying that we are going to be delivering these really robust and really fancy pants in context renderable components, then we need to actually be able to pass this around insanity. We need to be able to pass in anything from my the data that was filled in, right? Because the expectation is that in the UI here, the expectation is that here, I refresh this, what do I have? Yeah. Requested module, not providing. Oh, okay, exports, alt. Yeah, that's wrong. Now all that information is on because we destructured it and changed it. But that was working before. We saw this working. Wait, that's weird. Oh, okay, I see what's happening. And call to action, we need the rest of it. We have only title here for call to action, but we actually need title, comma, description, need link, and we need link text. So now that should be fine, but that's not going to solve this preview option here because you're not supposed to do what I'm doing right now. Like, you're not supposed to pass that preview object all of that different data. For some reason it doesn't like that, and we need to figure out why. But it is showing up as expected. We are missing the title now, so let's go back there. But other than that, right, if we go title, it's title. We head back to the browser. If we head back to the browser, look at that story element. I think now that CTA is going to be working. So there we go, right? We have the live coding with the pros. I think one more little added flair we should also in here is a weight of bold. I want to do double quotes. I'm going to do a weight of bold on that title. Now if we head back here. So the thing is, we could do what we were doing. We're going to see errors if we do what we were doing. But we could add a title in here too. It's just the problem is we're going to see an error, and that's not good, right? You don't want any errors at all in your IDE. If there are errors, you want to address them or somehow figure out a way to respectfully silence them so that they don't come back to bite you. But I think this is a good stopping point for tonight, guys. I think we got a lot done. We definitely did not finish our tickets, but we did quite a bit, okay? We got the new Sanity UI and the YouTube player in place. So let me do this. Installs React icons, React player, and Sanity UI packages. We have a new YouTube player, so basically moves all story elements into WYSIWYG editor, and then now adds inline previews for call to action and tube embed player, right? Index.ts cleans up unnecessary story elements. All right, the index stuff that we did, the person. So this is a global, right? So swaps out all blue side React icons with React icons. That's going to be for person. For shared elements, here we have this error on shared elements, right? Because of that, because of this, we have the errors. So we actually aren't even ready to commit this code, because until we can solve for this, then there's no point for us to the object components, right? Yeah, this is these are actual, like, components expects a real component. So if we are going to pass, here's the thing, right? If we are going to pass a text component here, we need to actually pass a text component. Like, that's the answer. That's the answer here. Is that you would actually pass in, like, instead of just having a preview key with just that one thing in it, you would also pass in the other stuff, right? So preview props we saw takes a bunch of stuff, but I don't think preview props is an array of preview props. At least I don't believe it is. But I think you are supposed to pass it. Like right now, if we're saying that our goal on the like, if one of the components that needs to be passed as part of this is that text component, then we actually need to pass that. Right, so yeah, see, and then you pass it a component type, and then whatever properties get passed down to it from the, yeah, so this is something we need to dig into. So we can't even commit our code tonight. We actually have to hold off committing all of this stuff because of this one error. So we will be back at it on Friday, guys. All right, we're gonna end there. Thanks everyone for joining. I know it's Valentine's Day. It's really good to see people hopping in though today, hopping in and out. That was really fun. Join us again Friday, where we actually untangle this mess of broken component previews. Yes, we will be diving right back into that really quickly, and we'll make sure that our title can be supplied here for this guy so that our publishers aren't guessing what video this might be. They shouldn't have to click into it, right? It should just tell them what video it is. And then also for this guy, we'll make sure that we are properly passing that set of components. Oh, and I just thought of what we have to do, guys. The answer isn't, okay, I know what we have to do. The answer is not to pass. Okay, so this preview here, right? This takes properties, okay? There's nothing stopping us, at least I don't think, right? There's nothing stopping us from creating our own component that's not reliant on it being one of Sanity's component types. I think. All right, yeah, I don't know yet. I'm still thinking it through. I have to figure out how to do it. Oh man, that's gonna be tough. That is gonna be tough. All right, because now I'm thinking like, if this one component has everything you need, as far as like the title, the description, and all that, then great. But you're getting it. The reason this works is you're getting this information right here. You're getting that from the context, right? You fill out this data, and now this key, this components here, has access to what was set in preview, and preview has access to what was set in the fields. So they're all connected. So the question is, when it comes to the object components, how do you safely and successfully pass in your actual components so that there's no errors? You know what I mean? Like for this preview key, when it gets to component type here, that's not what I'm looking for. When it gets here, how are you? And there is a children key somewhere along the way. So there's more that we can play around with this to make sure that it's working. I'm almost certain there's more that we can do. So yeah, preview props here. Yeah, children is one of them too. So, and children is React node, right? Children means that I can give it like I think it's like a set of components at that point. And React node is just like the main React. Like I think you can give. Well, I don't know yet. I don't know. I gotta figure it out. All right. Well, everyone have a great night. Have a happy Valentine's Day, and peace out. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time.